Bam. Bam. My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. I'm JSmiff, and let me kick this thing off like I always do by reminding you it don't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's too hot, if it's cold, you're awake. God gave you another day, my peoples. If you're breathing right now, you're lucky. You get to enjoy your family. You get to enjoy life. You get to enjoy the sweet science. Thank you, God, for giving us another one. Yes, sir. And let me give a shout out to those who already tuning in, who always showing love, who always supporting JSmiff and Box Center. Side in the building, Toy Mafia, salute, my brother. Fellas, y'all know what we do. Y'all know how we get down nice and early in the morning. We got lots to talk about. Manny Pacquiao, Rollies, Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson. We're going to be talking about all these different fighters and upcoming situations. Oscar De La Hoya, Virgil Ortiz. By the way, yesterday, I linked up with Greg Hackett. We was live on IG talking for about 30 minutes. And I want to share some of that conversation with you guys. Very interesting talking points. Cass, salute family. Bam. Check me out, fellas. Young Gus in the building nice and early. Bam. JSmiff, sup? Do you ever eat dinner, food for breakfast? Sometimes. In most cases, not. Especially right now, I'm trying to cut weight. So I'm going real light on my breakfast. This morning, I'm not even having breakfast, by the way. And yesterday, I had 2 boiled eggs. That was it. That was my breakfast. So these days, I'm going real light when it comes to breakfast. Check me out, fellas. This is the first topic of conversation. Roelly says that Manny Pacquiao kept calling him out and then waste his time because he's so broke that he wouldn't stop asking for more money. Apparently, Manny Pacquiao was trying to make that fight with Rollies. The rumors turned out to be true. But Rolly says that Pacman is too broke and it kept asking for more money. Now, let me just point out that asking for more money doesn't mean that Pacquiao is broke. And I say that because Pacquiao is a superstar. He is a bona fide superstar. So a guy like that is going to make a lot of money when he fights. Like, what is Rollies expecting? I mean, I'm wondering if Rolly thought that he would be the A-side in this fight or that he should be the guy making more money in this fight, because that would be insane. Like, I can't see him actually believing that. Like, nah, Manny, I'm the A-side, and I'm the one that's going to get the bigger piece of the pie. That wouldn't even make no sense, bro. Like, come on, Rollies. Come on, Rollies. Should have made that fight with Pacquiao. Should have made that fight because that's a big opportunity. Anytime, listen, even though Manny Pacquiao is obviously way past his prime and basically, should be retired right now, but he represents a career payday for you, bro. Look, Mario Barrios jumped at the opportunity of making that fight. Why? Because he made more money than he ever had stepping in the ring versus Pacquiao. So you, Rollies, you should have took that fight and got yourself a career payday. You lost out on a major opportunity. Young Gus, I guess Rolly turned diva after the Ryan win. To get Pacman on your resume is still cool to have, of course. Manny Pacquiao on your resume, that's a big name. That's a Hall of Famer. That's a big star. And you're talking about he asking more money, so he broke. The thing is that Rollies, you know, he get reckless with the mouthpiece. You know, he want to disrespect everybody. That's just the way he move. That's crazy to me. Like, you lost out on a big opportunity because you're saying that he's so broke and he kept asking for more money. Come on, Rollies. I don't know what you guys think about Rollies turning down Pacquiao because Pacquiao asking for too much money. But to me, that's a dumb decision. You let a big name, a big star, a career payday get away from you. Oh, you saying he broke. Cass, Rolly is a couple of cans short of a 6-pack. Man, Rolly sometimes, I got a feeling that he used to ride a yellow bus. I got a feeling that he used to ride the little yellow bus, the short one. I think he used to ride that joint. Because, like, who doesn't want the opportunity to fight Manny Pacquiao? Remember Terence Crawford was trying to fight him? Like, if you could think about it, everybody has tried to get a fight with Pacman. Everybody, like, want that fight. Want to get that name on their resume. And then Pacquiao reached out to Rollies trying to get that fight. And you end up not making it because you saying he asking for more money. Lost out on a big opportunity right there. Goofballery Productions. That's all I can say about that, my peoples. Now, Manny Pacquiao, I'm expecting him to get in the ring with Floyd later this year. He's going to do an exhibition, I think in April, if I'm not mistaken. And he's going to get in the ring with Floyd. And he's going to make a shitload of money. But Rollies is probably the first guy, bro, to turn down the Pacquiao fight. Like, nah, he asking for too much money. He wasting my time. Huh? I can't think, listen, honestly, my peoples, I can't think of anybody else that turned down an opportunity to fight Pacman. I can't think of it. I know a lot of people wish they had that opportunity. Matter of fact, y'all don't remember when Ryan Garcia even announced that, yeah, me and Pacquiao are going to fight. Ryan was thirsty to get that fight. And a bunch of people, you know, who wouldn't want to have a legend, a Hall of Famer in their resume. Rolly's talking about, now he broke. He asking for too much money. Rolly a goofball. Missed out on a major opportunity. My people's Conor Benn to Zuffa boxing. This has been the weirdest deal that we ever heard of. The weirdest signing that we ever heard of. Why? What makes Conor Benn to Zuffa boxing weird? I'm going to tell you. I'm tell you right now what makes it some weird ass shit. I ask you guys, $15 million for Conor Benn to go to Zuffa boxing and fight one fight versus Regis Prograis. Does that really make sense? We've been talking about this, right? We have been talking about, like, people asking me, and I'm like, yo, I can't make no sense of it. I don't understand it. There's a lot of factors about this fight, about this so-called deal, that just don't add up. Doesn't really make sense. And I was talking yesterday, I was talking to Greg Hackett about this. I actually went live. Well, Greg Hackett went live, and I jumped in with him, and we talked for like 30 minutes. This was one of the topic of conversations that we spoke about. You know, $15 million for Conor Benn to go to Zuffa boxing. And I'm going to tell y'all what Greg told me. And I believe it 100%. Danny on the ground. Conor is not even American, Jay. Why he get the bag? I'm going to tell you. I asked Greg Hackett. I was like, yo, Greg, what you think about that $15 million deal for one fight? And you guys got to remember, The one fight is going to be versus Regis Prograis, so it's not a title fight, and it's going to be at 150, and it's not even a main event. They the co-main event. And it's not even on Zuffa Boxing. It's on a Riyadh season card. So we trying to make sense of it. And what Greg told me made perfect sense. He said, yo, Jay, I don't believe it. I don't believe that they giving him no 15 mils for no one fight. They saying that. And then somebody put in the comments, that's media manipulation. And that makes sense to me. That makes sense. You know why? Because if they say we offering $15 million for one fight, Eddie Hearn is not going to match that. You're not going to pay Conor Benn no $15 million for one fight, especially a non-championship fight. So what's going to happen after that one fight deal? Supposedly one fight, right? He's going to fight, remember, on Riyadh season, not on a Zuffa card. What's going to happen next? Watch Conor Benn fight one or two more fights on Zuffa Boxing, on their card, on a Zuffa Boxing card. And it's going to turn out to be that $15 million is like a 2-3 fight deal. Not a one fight deal like they said. That's something I could believe. And they probably did it. That may have been the strategy. Let's say it's $15 million for one fight so that Eddie Hearn won't match that deal. Nobody else is going to match that deal. But it's going to turn out to be multiple fights. It's going to turn out to be 2-3 fights. Maybe even 4. And then if he does even 3 fights, it's $5 million per fight, as opposed to $15 million for just one. Young Guns, Rick Glazer was on another channel and said Eddie Hearn offered peanuts to Benn compared to what Turkey paying. Okay, but let's see. And matter of fact, I'm going to hit Rick up. I be talking. It's been a while, but Rick Glazer's actually been on here with me. By the way, I'm going to bring Rick Glazer on the show. I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to bring him on the show so he could chime in. I spoken a lot to Rick Glazer privately, and he's been on the show before. He hasn't been on Boxing for Breakfast, but he's been on the channel with me before. And I'm going to tell him to come through. Young Guns, you should, JSmiff. I heard that interview you did with Rick. It was good. Yeah, man, listen, when me and Rick Glazer get together, we always have real good boxing conversations. I enjoy having a good talk with him. So I'm going to bring him on the show. Right after the show, I'm going to hit him up. I'll be like, yo, Rick, join me. Let me see if he could join me this week. If he not busy, because he a real busy dude. But if he got time, he'll rock with me. As far as what Eddie Hearn offered Conor Benn compared to what Turkey offering, I don't want to make a comparison because it's like I told you, this $15 million deal, I think it's media manipulation. I think that they telling us a number and that number's not real. Because I try to make sense of it. And everybody I talk to is like, yo, I don't know. I don't know how Dana White, Turkey, give Conor Benn $15 million to sign him with Zuffa Boxing, and he not even gonna fight on a Zuffa card, and $15 million, and he not even the main event. $15 million is not even a championship fight. None of that shit makes sense. Nobody on Zuffa Boxing making no $15 million for one fight. Nobody on Zuffa Boxing is signed for a one-fight deal. Jairo Pataya signed, I don't know for how many years. And he's a world champion. You telling me Conor Benn getting 15 mils to fight on Riyadh season, co-main event, non-championship fight, 15 mils? That shit don't make no sense, my peoples. It really don't. So the moment Greg told me, Greg Hackett, that he don't believe that this is a real deal, they could pay Conor Benn a certain amount of money, a nice bag, and tell him, yo, we're gonna publish that it's 15 million for one fight. He could go along with that. They like, yeah. And I'm gonna give you an example of something that Greg Hackett told me too. He was like, ever since Floyd Mayweather he got 200 million for one fight, everybody believe everything. You know, we talk about all these hundreds of millions and millions of dollars like it ain't nothing. But I want you to think about this. Once upon a time, and it's crazy to even say it, when Floyd said all the money that he made off of those fights, right? Well, now he's suing Showtime. Because they stole a bunch of money, because they didn't pay him a bunch of money that they were supposed to. So in other words, those amounts of money that we already thought Floyd got, he never got. He didn't get all that money. He's suing Showtime for how much is it? Is it $200 million or something like that? So again, one thing is the money that you say you got on paper, and it's another thing what they actually deposited on your bank account. So even Floyd, who said or thought that he was getting this much money from Showtime, is now telling us, nah, they stole from me, they robbed me. They didn't pay me all my money. So he never got all that money that he thought he was getting. He never got all that money that the fans were celebrating, like, yeah, Floyd got this much money, they got this much money. Now he's suing for that money that he didn't get. So this happens in boxing, where we hear all these millions of dollars, but that's not actually the amount of money the fighter got. Young Guns, yeah, 15 million is crazy work. With Fury and Benn on the same card, should be a mega event in UK. Is Floyd suing Al Heyman? So there's nothing out there to suggest that he's suing Al Heyman. But what he is saying is that Al stole his money. He's basically saying that Showtime and Steven Espinoza, instead of depositing the money directly to him, they deposited to Al Heyman. And Al Heyman robbed them, basically. 2 left hooks, JSmiff, keep grinding, man. Salute, family, bam. We on it. We on it, I promise. Queen, hey, man, what are we talking about? So, yesterday, I linked up with Greg Hackett, and I asked him what he thought about that $15 million deal for Conor Benn for one fight. And Greg was like, bro, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. People be lying. People be making stuff up. They be floating numbers out there that are not real. And media manipulation. Because if they say, look, we're going to give Conor Benn $15 million for one fight, Eddie's not going to match that offer. So that's it. You're protecting from anybody else trying to get him. And another thing, watch. This is going to turn out to be real. Conor Benn is not fighting on Zuffa Boxing. He's fighting on a Riyadh season card. Watch him after that fight end up fighting on Zuffa Boxing. And it's going to turn out to be like a 2, 3, even 4 fight deal. Not a 1 fight deal like they telling us. Danny on the ground. I'm confused on why is Conor fighting Regis instead of a bigger name. You see, Regis is on the downslide. Hasn't won a title in a long time. Been taking a few L's. He's going like this right now. His stock is down. $15 million for one fight with Regis Prograis, co-main event, non-title fight, not on Zuffa Boxing. That shit, the math ain't mathing. That math is not adding up right. Ramirez, you see, yeah, that Conor Benn shit is fake. They gassing that 15 million. I'm not surprised, bro. I'm not surprised if that 15 million is 100% cap. Either they not really gonna give him no 15 million, or that 15 million is gonna turn out to be for 3-4 fights. And if he fight 4 times on Zuffa Boxing, like 1 on Riyadh and 3 on Zuffa, then it's actually like $3 million per fight. Then it's more realistic. Quick. So what is the estimated money that he's going to be getting? I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know, my brother. What is the estimated money? Because we don't really know how many fights he signed with Dana and with Turkey. We don't. They're saying it's 1, but watch him fight that Riyadh season card and then fight some more on Zuffa Boxing. That's how we're really gonna find out that 15 million shit was capped. Ramirez, Floyd Benn on Forbes. That's the highest paid athlete. No, he's the highest paid athlete, but he, for example, if he told us he got $200 million and he got $80 million, bro, he's still the highest paid athlete. If then he told us he got $300 million, but he really got $150 million, that's half of that amount of money. But he would still be the highest paid athlete. So the point is, the money that Floyd thought he was getting when he was telling us he was doing legal bank robberies, he wasn't getting that money. He wasn't making as much money as he was supposed to. That's the point. They was robbing him. Look how much money he's suing Showtime for. Is it like $300 million? That's a lot of money, bro. Young Guns, I agree. It's confusing. Why would Benn only sign for 1 fight with Zuffa and burn a bridge with Eddie? You see? Exactly. For a 1 fight deal? That's why the other day I was saying, yo, a 1 fight deal is a big gamble. Because what if nobody else want to fuck with you after that? What you gonna do? You're gonna be stuck as a free agent? Conor Benn is not a big enough name to be a free agent. He's gonna be a free agent and just do him by himself. He's gonna be cooked. Cooked. Dallas Peel. What does it mean for Joseph Parker losing against Wardley and getting caught during testing? Well, he got popped for cocaine. They got popped for cocaine. That's not considered a performance enhancer. So I don't think that getting popped is really gonna affect him, because it don't come across like he was trying to cheat. It was just came across like he was partying too close to the fight. Because, by the way, in case you don't know this, cocaine doesn't stay in your system for that long. So if you do cocaine and you stay off of it for 3 weeks, when they test you, you're going to come out clean. So that just means that he was partying a little bit too close to the fight and popped dirty. As far as losing to Fabio Wardley, I'm going to tell you right now, bro, Fabio Wardley is extremely underrated. For whatever reason, the narrative has been out there that all he got is power. If you watch that fight, if you watch him beat Joseph Parker, then you know that all he got is power is fake news. You see the jab. You see the combination punching. You see the movement, the angles, the footwork. Wardley is a very, very good fighter. Very skilled. Very ring savvy. And in fact, he'll give Usyk a run for his money if he get that fight. He dying to fight Usyk. So he got power, but he got a lot more than just power. Young Guns. Yeah, JSmiff. It has to lock him in for 3-4 fights like you said. Watch. It's going to turn out to be that. Watch him fight that Riyadh season card and then be fighting on Zuffa cards. It's going to turn out to be that. It's going to turn out to be a 3-4 fight deal for that 15 mils. Ronaldo, good morning. Boxing for breakfast, my peoples. Salute, my brother. Bam. Dead on the ground. Let them pay Conor Benn in Royale coins. Queeb, this seems like something they should have announced immediately because this not because Benn got to get unnecessary attention from potential fans that might come. Watch his fight at Zuffa. But here's the deal. If they say we signing, think about this, Queeb. If they say we signing Conor Benn $15 million for 4 fights, that would be $3 million per fight. Eddie Hearn could match that deal and say, nah, F them. Stay right here. We're going to pay you that much. But if they say, that's why it's media manipulation. If they say the $15 million is just for 1 fight, nobody going to match that shit. No, nobody going to pay Conor Benn over $15 million for 1 fight. And it's too many things that make it seem like they capping. Consider it. Number one, Zuffa Boxing paid Conor Benn $15 million so that he could fight on a Riyadh season card, not on a Zuffa Boxing card. That shit don't make no sense. Zuffa Boxing paying $15 million for a non-championship fight? That don't make no sense at all. And Zuffa Boxing paying you $15 million to be on a co-main event? That shit don't make no sense. It's too many things that say, nah, man, that $15 million is straight up fake news. There's something that we don't know about that deal. It might be, there's 2 possible scenarios here. Number one, it's a multi-fight deal and a multi-year deal, and they lying about the 1-fight deal. That's number one. And number 2, straight up media manipulation as well. It ain't really no $15 million. It might be just 5 mils, 4 mils. And they got together and say, yo, we're going to post that it's 15 mils. That's going to help your profile. That's going to help us. That's going to help people's, other fighters want to come to Zuffa because they see all this money. But we're really going to pay you 4 mils. But we're going to run with that narrative. And guess what? Just like Greg Hackett told me yesterday, if you get in a bag, you'll go along with it too if they tell you to say that. Fuck it, yeah, let me tell people I'm getting 15 mils. You'll run with that narrative too if it suits you. Clifton Dennis, y'all think everyone will get Usyk or run for it? I mean, you got to see Usyk's age. You got to see Usyk's age. And you got to see the fighters. Not everybody is going to give him a run for his money. But Fabio, Wardley, and Caballero definitely give him a run for his money. Matter of fact, you got to understand, look, Clifton Dennis, this what you not looking at. Look who Usyk is fighting next. He's fighting a kickboxer, bro. He's fighting a kickboxer with 1 professional boxing match. A super cherry pick. Do you know what that means? That means that he's already at the tail end of his career. And he's trying to at least get a little easy fight, get a little easy bag before risking it all versus Caballero, who's his mandatory. Which, by the way, Caballero is his mandatory and Usyk petitioned for a voluntary title defense. He basically said, yo, before fighting that dude, let me fight. Let me get me a cherry pick real quick. You know what that tells you? He at the tail end of his career. He at the tail end of his career. You got to stop thinking that dudes that's close to 40 years old can just beat everybody and make them look easy. It don't work that way. You're going to start getting people giving you a run for your money. That's just the reality. Dallas Peel, Fury coming back for his boy Joseph Parker. Honor. Haha. Man, listen. Fury is also someone who's coming back versus a cherry pick. Can Fury become a world champion again? I don't know. I don't know if he can. I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. I think Fury is done. And I'm going to tell you why I think Fury is done. So you see his body, right? His weight. Fury always been a guy who's been super heavy, who's always been super flabby, fat. But yet, he still wins, right? He still performs. He still won titles, accomplished. But here's what I want you guys to understand. The older you get, the less you can get away with. So let me give you an example. I've seen 20-year-old fighters, 21-year-old fighters who barely run. And then they step in the ring and knock out their opponent, make them look like bums. But you get away with not running like you supposed to when you young. You get away with that. But as you start to get older, you're not going to get away with that shit no more. I seen an interview with Deontay Wilder say that he don't run. That was a long time ago. He was like, I don't run. I don't need to run. But he didn't have to run because he was knocking everybody out. He wasn't going the distance. He don't got to worry about stamina for the 10th round if he knocking you out before the 6th. But then what happened to Wilder? When he started fighting these guys, he started going into deeper rounds, and you got to see Wilder boom, boom, with the deer in the headlight look, completely out of gas. So he got away with that when he was younger for years, but eventually it caught up to him. You start thinking, I can do this, and you can't do it forever. You can't get away with it forever. So Usyk is a guy, Fury is a guy who been fighting man out of shape, man big, man flabby, and getting away with it. Why? Because let's face it, he man nice with it. He man nice with the hands, man nice with the movement, a great jab. He got the tools and resources. But as you get older, you're not going to get away with that. Your conditioning becomes more and more important as you get older. You get away with a lot when you're younger. You could get away with not running like you're supposed to. You could get away with not working out like you're supposed to. And win off of your skills and talent alone. But as you get older, you could be mad nice. If you're fighting a guy who's not as good as you, but in better shape, you get your ass whooped. Get your ass whooped. So Usyk, look what Usyk did to Tyson Fury. Twice. Tyson Fury says he won those fights. He never had a chance. Never stood a chance. And you're fighting a guy who, Usyk is a damn gym rat. He's one of those guys who's always in shape, who's always working out. Even when he's not, sign a contract for a fight, he's in the gym. Usyk is one of those. Fury is the opposite. If Fury and that shit catches up to you too. Fury, if he don't got a fight lined up, he not in the gym. He don't even step in the gym if he don't got a fight lined up. He having fun, he partying, he drinking, hanging out. And then when he signed a contract, now he in the gym, he focused. That's not going to cut it. That's only going to cut it when you're younger. You get away with that. But as you get older, I don't know off the top of my head how old is Tyson Fury, but I know he's in his late 30s, close to 40 years old, if he's not already there. That's it. His time is over. His time is over. Side, I think Usyk beats Wardley. The guy with the best chances, Caballero. Caballero, I think, has a great chance to beat Usyk. But I would say Wardley has a great chance to beat him too, man. Because Wardley can fight. He can fight, bro. And he got power. Clifton Dennis. Fury couldn't do it. None of them can. Fury is washed up, bro. Fury washed. Shakur hands. 15 million. Sus. I'm trying to tell you, man. $15 million is suspect like crazy. Shakur hands. Greg signed with Zuffa. Nah, Greg did not sign with Zuffa. We was talking about that deal. Supposedly, Conor Benn getting $15 million for Zuffa boxing for one fight. And it sounds like it's 100% cap. Side, who we got in Dubois versus Wardley? I haven't made that prediction yet. But I will. I'll make it pretty soon. Shakur hands. Yes, he's older. Older than Usyk. Young Guns. Do you like the stoppage in the Wardley-Parker fight? Yeah, that was a good stoppage. Wardley was pummeling him. That's the thing. Oftentimes, in most cases, when fighters get stopped like that, they say, nah, I wanted to keep going. Yeah, you wanted to keep going, but you was getting pummeled out there. Side. He fighting Beethoven. Alex Carr. Are you our enlightenment? I don't know. You decide. That, my G. Buzzing sphere. Now, Turkey putting 15 mil on the table so Conor Benn can bring in the UK fans to Zuffa boxing. Conor Benn is the heel of UK boxing. UK fans will pay to see Conor Benn lose. But boxing fear. Here's the problem with your logic. You're saying Turkey putting 15 mils on the table to bring UK fans to Zuffa boxing. The problem with that logic is that the fight is not even going to be on a Zuffa card, bro. The fight is going to be on a Riyadh season card. How you going to bring fans to Zuffa if the fight is not even on Zuffa boxing card? It's on a Riyadh season undercard. That's a Ring Magazine card, bro. So you bringing people to Ring Magazine, not to Zuffa, at least for that one fight. Shakur hands. Young Guns. I didn't like it, but he was coked out. Queen, answer for your first point. If that's the case, then 15 million craze one of the best fights that Zuffa boxing can make. But Queen, remember what I just said. It's not on Zuffa boxing, bro. It's not on Zuffa. How you gonna bring fans to Zuffa or create the best fight for Zuffa when it's on a Riyadh season undercard? Not even a main event. Shakur hands, he still got footwork. Ha. Queen, answer for your second point then. If it's going to be a multi-fight deal, they should just announce it and bring more interest to different fighters, stating they want to get in this deal. But that's the thing. The big boom out of this deal is that he's getting a whole $15 million for one fight. That is the big boom right there. And that does exactly what you say. Other fighters want to go to Zuffa like, damn, $15 million? How much can I get? That does exactly what you're saying. Damn, they pay money like that? Let me see what they talking about. But then you get to Zuffa boxing, they be like, nah, bro, we got $500,000 for you. That's what we got for you. That $15 million deal is going to turn out to be capped. Watch. $15 million for one fight, that shit going to be capped. I love you. It's going to turn. Yo, I promise you, $15 million for one fight on Riyadh season, undercard, non-title fight, that shit is going to be capped. He's either going to have to fight more fights or he's really not getting 15 mil. Getting 3-4 mil when they cap it. Side, Fury's done. It's time to make AJ versus Fury. You see, AJ versus Fury. That's a fight that got away from us that we did want to see it. Give us that fight. I also still want to see AJ versus Wilder. Even though Wilder is also done, but that's a fight that got away from us. That's, I know the fans will tune in. The fans want to see it. Shaku Hands, he got to get in the gym and work hard. Clifton Dennis, Usyk is cut from the same cloth as Floyd and Bud. Show some respect. Clifton Dennis, nobody's disrespecting Fury by saying that guys will give him a tough fight, bro. You overreaching on that one. You clinging on too hard. Nobody's disrespecting Fury by saying, yo, these guys will give him a heck of a fight. Like, how is that disrespect, bro? You too thirsty to contradict right now. And you're not even contradicting right, because nobody has said that he's going to lose. Nobody has said that he's not good, or that he's not a B-level fighter, or that these guys are going to beat him. We're just saying that these guys are going to be competitive, bro. Relax, my guy. Relax. You too thirsty to contradict this early in the morning, fams. Nobody's disrespecting Usyk in no way, shape, or form. Queen, but does this cherry pick disrespect his mandatory? I thought that as a champion, you're supposed to be fighting all your mandatories before just picking people who you can't fight easily. So let me say this, right? And this goes for all great fighters, all great champions. You're going to see that fighters generally fight 2, 3 great fighters in a row and then scale it down and then fight a lower level competition. And then they go back to that. Why? Because there's a lot of wear and tear on your body on these tough fights and a lot of mental stress to get these W's. So eventually you need to scale it back down, get an easy win, and then go back up in levels, right? All fighters do that. So I don't really knock Usyk for getting his little cherry pick in. I do knock him though for getting a non-boxer. Like, goddamn, a kickboxer? Come on, bro. A kickboxer with one boxing professional fight? That's whack. That's whack. I don't want to see that. I mean, of course, we all going to watch this fight. It is Alexander Usyk. But, damn, man, a kickboxer, we know how that fight is going to play out. The kickboxer dude got zero chance whatsoever. I would have preferred he would have made the Wilder fight, which Wilder would have been a cherry pick too for Usyk. I would have preferred that one than him fighting a kickboxer. But there you have it. He's going to fight the kickboxer, and then he's going to have to fight his mandatory in Caballero. And Caballero is... see, that's the thing. A lot of people, they think if you're not a big star, if you're not known like that, you're probably not that good. Yo, Caballero can fight. Caballero is that good. He's good enough to where Usyk didn't want to fight his mandatory right away. He's good enough to where Usyk was like, yo, hold on, let me do a voluntary defense before fighting him. I think that says a lot about the type of fighter Caballero is if you don't know him. Young Guns, old school fighters, I think, have better conditioning. A lot of those guys were preparing 15 rounds. Clifton Dennis, when Usyk fight Cabby, I hope you pick Cab, backing up your words. What do you mean backing up my words? I'm saying that it's going to be a good fight. I'm not saying Caballero is going to beat him. I'm saying he got a chance to beat him. That's it. I'm not saying he's going to beat him. Like I told you, Clifton Dennis, you too thirsty to want to contradict me. Way too thirsty. I know you like to contradict me, but you too thirsty to contradict something that I'm not even saying. I'm not saying Caballero's going to beat him. Stop being so thirsty to contradict, bro. Sad. Fury never without the love handles. Man, listen. Fury, he, like I told you, for his skills and talent, he's been able to get away with not being in the best shape. Skills and talent will let you do that. But the time will come where that's gonna come back to bite you. Gonna come back to bite you. Shackle Hands, he won one of those fights. Side. Clifton Fury's fighting a layup. Of course, he ain't gonna lose. Nah, yo. He not gonna lose that fight. Greg Hackett is in the building. Salute, family. Yo, Greg, I was talking about our conversation from yesterday, bro. And I agree with you 100%. The $15 million for one fight for Conor Benn, that shit is cap. Cap. You know what? They're going to end up fighting. It's going to turn out to be a multi-fight deal. Watch. Because he's fighting on Riyadh season. How you sign with Zuffa Boxing and you're not on a Zuffa card? You're on a Riyadh season card. Then you should have signed with Riyadh season to fight on their card. So to me, it's gonna be a multi-fight deal. He's gonna fight 3-4 fights on Zuffa's platform, or like you said yesterday, man, they probably just capping, not giving him that much money. He running with it like, yeah, it's 15 million. Fuck out of here. We not trying to hear that cap. Queen, as a person gets older, the physically or ability to train your body to improve slowly diminishes. For Fury, it is the case now. He can't improve his physicality enough where his skills can compete. I honestly believe that Tyson Fury is done. You know, I don't see him beating none of the young heavyweights. You imagine him getting in the ring with, what's that young kid name from the UK? A young kid with the fro. That kid will absolutely obliterate him, yo. Obliterate him. Young Guns, he 37. Moses Itauma. You imagine Fury trying to get in there with Itauma? He'll get killed. Killed. Young Guns, the guy Fury is fighting isn't great. Mahmoud though, but he's going to make it exciting while it lasts. I seen him fight. And I seen how he do. Greg Hackett. I signed with Zuffa on Monday. Whoa! There you have it, my peoples. Greg Hackett signed with Zuffa Boxing on Monday. Congratulations, family. Congratulations. That's just one of the doors that's going to be opening for you. And I told you yesterday, you only laughed it off when I said that. For Greg Hackett, yesterday's price is not today's price. Salute, family. Get that paper. Shackle hands. See, you did sign. Young Guns, I hope you do that. Be cool. Shackle hands. He just said it right here. He signed with Zuffa. Greg Hackett, Conor bringing the UK. I'm bringing the trenches. That's right. Bringing the trenches into Zuffa Boxing. You might mess around, bring Zuffa Boxing to the trenches. The letter M, Riyadh season pain. But that's my point. If Riyadh season pain, what are we talking about $15 million to sign with Zuffa Boxing? Side, the old bait and switch. Whoa. Cass, too thirsty to contradict. Great point. I've been doing this for too long, man. I can see when somebody's way too thirsty to contradict. Braskarok, greeting from the main streets of North Omaha, Nebraska. Bam, salute, family. Young Guns. I always thought heavyweights when I was growing up in the 90s were in their 40s, still dominating. Remember, Holmes was 42, beating undefeated prime Ray Mercer. I mean, there's some heavyweights in their 40s who dominated. But for the most part, it doesn't happen. For the most part, once you get to 40, you cooked. You cooked. Braskarok, never watch an Usyk fight. I don't know why. Weird. You didn't watch Usyk versus Wilder? Neither one of them, the first or the second? Shackle hands. Yeah, he's going to whip Caballero. Side Braskarok, that's crazy. You missing out. Yeah, man, you missing out on great fights. Like Usyk, he might be done, might be cooked, but he's had a great career, man, and he's had some good wins and some very, very exciting fights to watch. Side, I'm leaning to Usyk in the cap fight, but it's the best fight for Usyk. The letter M. Who you got in the Thurman versus Fundora? I got the Tower Inferno, Fundora. So I haven't made a prediction for that fight, which, by the way, Thurman versus Fundora is this year. I haven't made a prediction about that fight because, yo, Keith Thurman is not to be disrespected, man. People think that he's going to get washed, and you're not saying that, but there's people out there saying that he's going to get washed, that he's done, that he's cooked. This guy got one loss versus Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest fighters ever. One loss. And when he came back versus the Australian kid, he knocked him out in brutal fashion. Brutally. Yes, you know, the kid is not a championship caliber fighter, but he was an undefeated fighter, young, strong. And Keith Thurman, after 2 years of inactivity, looked sharp as hell. Looked like he had a great training camp. So now he showed us that even coming off of inactivity, he could have a great training camp and show no ring rust whatsoever. In that last fight, he was fast, he was sharp, he was strong. Like I told ya, ended the fight in devastating fashion. So I don't want to disrespect Keith. Oh yeah, Fundora's is going to knock him out. It's going to be easy work. Nah, hold on. I really got to analyze this. Because he's going to have the advantage in speed. He's going to have the advantage in experience. And those things can play a factor in a fight. So I haven't made that prediction just yet. But I will. Soon. Braskarok side. I got my eye on him. Pasta track. I said the news is killing me. Where's my JSmiff boxing to help my mood? Salute, family. Bam. We here. We in the building, bro. We talking boxing. Pasta track. Stressful world, Jay. You don't know how much things like this help us regular folks. My guy, I got a lot of family living in the States right now. Most of my family is in the States. So, you know, it's a tough time right now with what's going on with Israel, with Iraq. It's a very stressful time. And to be honest, we don't like to say it like this, but we're living in scary times, bro. It's a scary time right now. We don't know what's coming up. So I'm glad that we could, you know, disconnect from those topics of conversation and not even think about it and just enjoy the sweet science. We need this. Right now, man, we need this more than ever. Shaku hands. I just said that. Clifton Dennis. Greg Sign. That's what's up. I told you, I said it yesterday when I was talking to Greg, man. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Queen, can I ask you a question? Where does your vast knowledge of boxing come from? I can see you being a consultant for fighters or an analyst. So let me bring that back to the beginning. That's a real good question, by the way. The first time that I watched a boxing match, like I sat down to watch 11 years old, and my pops took me to see Julio Cesar Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor 1. Now, that being my first fight, 11 years old, I'm watching those two fighters doing their ring walk, and I was like, yo, nah, man, the black dude's gonna kill that Mexican. Because if you watch that fight, or even the replay, Meldrick Taylor was ripped. And Julio Cesar Chavez, you guys know that he never really had muscles like that. He was never really, you know, in fact, his body looked super plain. You didn't see a ab muscle in sight. So I was like, nah, man, black dude's gonna kill the Mexican. He gonna beat him up. The fight starts, and I was right. Meldrick Taylor put in all type of hands on Julio Cesar Chavez. Now, my pops and his homeboy, they quiet the whole fight. They like this. Because they was rooting for Chavez to win, right? So they quiet. They guys getting pummeled out there. And I'm like, yeah, I told y'all. 11 years old, trash talking my pops and his boy. Y'all should have listened to me. I told you. Well, you guys know how that fight played out. Julio Cesar Chavez got one of the most dramatic stoppages in boxing history that night. I was left stunned, flabbergasted, confused, perturbed, all of that shit. Like, what the fuck? Wait, 10 seconds? It's over? He won? Huh? Like, I couldn't believe it. So that my first boxing match, boxing did two things. It broke my heart and it made me fall in love with the sport. I was heartbroken. My guy lost, the guy that I was rooting for, lost by stoppage. And right there, I fell in love with boxing, right? So I wanted to box, but my parents didn't let me box. They didn't want me to box. So since they didn't want me to box, all I had left was to watch boxing. But then, when I got to 16 years old, I had a friend of mine that used to train in Gleason's gym. And he took me there, and I met his coach. By the way, my coach, who ended up also coaching me, at one point he got to coach Chris Eubank Sr., bro. My coach was Chris Eubank Sr.'s coach at one point. And when I started training in Gleason's gym, Zab Judah was like 12-0, I think. 12-0, 13-0. And right away, I was like, oh, shit, man, this guy's going to be a world champion for sure. I even took a cousin of mine to the gym, and I was like, yo, take a picture with this dude. I promise you, he's going to be a world champion for sure. Which, that's how Zab Judah ended up following me on IG. I hit him up like, yo, Zab, you remember me, bro? I used to train in Gleason's. I used to train with Maximo. And he was like, oh, shit, of course I remember you. What's up, Jay? And we started politicking. Zab Judah was the first person to join me on this channel. Bro, I had like 50 subscribers. And I hit him up, yo, Zab, you think you could give me an interview? And Zab was like, hell yeah, of course. He could have easily said no, like, man, this dude got 50 subscribers. Fuck, I'm going to go and his shit for. But he said yes. Because one thing about Zab Judah, people don't know, man, he not just somebody who was a great fighter. He a great person. He's a great guy. And showed me love and even gave me some advice. So it went from me watching boxing to me actually participating in the sport, having the opportunity to box. I fought as an amateur. The highlight of my amateur career was making it to the semifinals or the Golden Gloves. I was too confident when I got there and I lost. And then little by little, the street got a hold of me. You know, the girls, the drinking, the smoking, the partying. And eventually, I didn't have the discipline to stay in boxing, and I got out. But my goal was to become a professional fighter. Like, I was planning on becoming a pro. And then, you know, I just didn't have the discipline or the focus to stay with it. So, and that is why I ended up having a professional fight when I was 44 years old. For those of you who don't know, I only have one pro fight, which I lost, and I was 44 years old. Why? Because I was like, damn, I don't want to become an old man and say that I never stepped in the ring and fought as a professional. Like, that was my plan, and I never did it. I met a promoter out here in the Dominican Republic, and I ended up getting the opportunity to fight, a professional fight. It was televised and everything. If you haven't seen it, it's actually on this channel. You can look at the video, scroll down, and you'll find it there. The title is like JSmiff Pro Debut or something like that. So I would say my knowledge of boxing comes from the fact that I had the opportunity to participate in boxing. I had the opportunity to fight as an amateur. I had the opportunity to get in a fight as a professional. And I tell you what, guys, if I was to find somebody around my age, you see me getting in the ring again. You see me getting in the ring again. My pro debut, I was 44. I fought somebody that was 35, 9 years younger than me, bigger, stronger than me. If I fight again, I'm not going to do that because I feel like, damn, I don't want to give that much physical advantage to an opponent. But if I could get somebody who's at least 43, 44, I'm going to be 48. If I could get somebody that's 43, 44, 45 to step in the ring with me, you'll see me fighting again, bro. Greg Hackett, what weight? I fought at 135. 135, bro. And now, if I get the opportunity to fight again, I'll fight again. I promise you. But like I told you guys, I feel like my knowledge comes from me being able to participate in the sport, me being around professional boxers, me having the opportunity to see, you know, top level pro fighters in their training camp. I got to see Zab Judah in training camp. Listen, I don't know, because Gleason's gym is not in the same location. I don't know where they moved it to. I was at Gleason's gym when it was in Brooklyn in Front Street. And I'm telling you, my peoples, in the late 90s and the early 2000s, Gleason's gym was the spot that if you was a pro fighter and you went to New York, you went through Gleason's gym. I got to see Tito Trinidad over there. I got to see Arturo Gatti over there. I got to see Mike Tyson over there. I got to see mad people, mad fighters who went to New York and they had to pass by Gleason's. Like, that gym was, I don't know today, but that gym was no joke. And watching Zab Judah sparring, my peoples, it was different. Watching Zab sparring, it was a whole different experience. I got to be in the gym, bro, where Zab was preparing for a fight, and he's sparring, and I shit you not, most people in the gym stopped doing what they was doing to watch Zab Judah sparring. I got to see people who was hitting the bag across the gym, hitting the bag all the way over there, stop hitting the bag to go and stand there and watch Zab Judah sparring. I got to see that. Like, the gym stopped because Zab was sparring and people wanted to see that work. Zab was such a special fighter. Like, to see it in person, and I got to see Zab Judah every single day. The whole time that I was in the gym, before I left, Zab Judah was there, and I got to see him every single day. I still remember when Zab Judah won his first title and went to the gym as a world champion. I remember when he signed his first big contract with HBO Boxing. Showed up to the gym with the brand new big-ass Escalade with the big rims, iced out. I got to see all of that. So I would say that my boxing knowledge comes from my involvement in amateur boxing and professional boxing. Also had the opportunity to cover boxing out here, professional and amateur. So I say it's a combination of different things. Young Guns, JSmiff versus Charlie Zanilov. Pasta track. The elite talent is different. It's different, bro. When you're watching elite level fighters sparring, it's just different. It's a whole different ball game. Side, JSmiff versus Floyd. Manny winner. Give me the winner. I take him on. Give me Floyd. Give me Manny. I'll get pummeled. Pay me $5 million, man. I don't even need 100 million and 50, man. Give me 5 mils, bro. I'm good with just 5. I'll be straight. My peoples, y'all seen who's in the cover of Ring magazine? Terence Bud Crawford. One of the most hated fighters in the game when he was active. And look now. Look now, my peoples. Come on, man. Clifton Dennis. But Thurman is not to be disrespected at 37 fighting in a smaller division. Fighting a great champion. I think Thurman will compete, but we should have concerns. Leroy. This is why Conor Benn is the A-side to everybody at 147 down. Side. Zab a real one. Leroy. Ain't nobody sold out a 90K arena back-to-back like Conor Benn. Ain't none of these guys that royalty in the UK. Clifton Dennis, 500K. I'll take it. Man, listen, give me 500K. I'll take that too. Side, TBC equals TBE. That's right, yo. Terence Crawford, man, when we start talking about the all-time greats, Terence Crawford is right there, up there really, really high on that list. I'm going to tell you right now, when we start looking at accomplishments, you're going to have to put Terence Crawford in the top 10 all-time greats. And when I say top 10, I don't mean like 8, 9. He could be in the top 5. Fuck around. Might be in the top 5 all-time greats. Pasta track, but had that southpaw jinx. And the funny thing about Terence Crawford, man, and what made him unpredictable is that he never fought consistently from one side or the other. I seen Terence Crawford fight an entire fight as a southpaw. I seen him fight almost an entire fight from the orthodox stance. And then we've seen him switch back and forth. We've seen him switch during the round, and we've seen him switch in between rounds. Come up for the next round from the other side. That's what made him so unpredictable. You never knew which Terence Crawford you're going to get. Young Guns, 97th Annual Ring Magazine. Whoa, I remember my boy Pops having those Ring magazines when I was a kid. They were fire. I actually used to buy Ring magazine. In fact, I still remember, yo, damn, I feel bad about that, bro. I used to go to the Habibi store sometimes. When I was like 13, 14 years old, I would go to the Habibi store and I would buy a magazine, the car magazines or the magazine that I used to buy about that time was the Nintendo joint. I forgot the name of the magazine, but it was a magazine that would have Nintendo games and all the tricks to beat those games and the little cheat codes and shit. And I would buy the Nintendo magazine and I would take a Ring magazine and I would put it inside the Nintendo joint. I would go to the Habibi store and I'll put the Ring magazine inside the Nintendo joint. I'll be like, yo, Habibi, bam. And give him the $5 for the Nintendo joint and walk out of there with the Ring magazine joint. Damn, man, I used to get the Habibis with that. Clifton Dennis, if Floyd loses to Manny, how does it affect his status as the best ever? Does he drop a few spots or no? He can't drop a few spots. You know. I don't know if he drops at all, to be honest. But people will make an argument that Manny Pacquiao is now better than him. You know, so that's going to be a good conversation to have. If people will be able to make a good argument in Manny's favor. But you can't really drop Floyd. You know, how much can you really drop him from him losing at 49 years old? So I don't think, you know, I don't think it is going to change much as far as his all-time standings. Quick, for Mr. Crawford, why do you think people don't like him during his boxing career? Are there legitimate claims or is just people hating on him? Well, to be honest, the reason people don't like him is because of the PBC. The PBC, they made it to where fans started picking sides. So it's like at one point, 99% of the Terence Crawford haters were PBC fans. Were people who were, you know, Errol Spence fans, Tank Davis fans, Al Heyman fans, PBC fans. The overwhelming majority of people who didn't like Crawford and who floated fake narratives about him was from the PBC fan base. So PBC started this. Remember, the whole other side of the street narrative was invented for Terence Crawford. That didn't exist. Nobody was talking about the other side of the street. That was literally manufactured to keep Terence Crawford over there. So that whole hate narrative, I'm going to put it to you like this so you can see how accurate this point is. If you think about it, most of the hate that Terence Crawford got really showed up when he got to the welterweight division. When he was doing his thing at 140 and 135, he wasn't getting that hate. He wasn't hated like that. But when he got to welterweight and he became a threat to those PBC champions, that's it. The hate kicked off, and it was a hate campaign against Terence Crawford. I would even call it fan manipulation. Fans got manipulated into hating Terence Crawford. Y'all don't remember when the PBC was floating around that they make the real money, Terence Crawford ain't making no money, he broke over there. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford was making more money than most of those guys. Y'all remember when Terence Crawford decided to re-sign with Top Rank? He was making millions of dollars, bro. Terence Crawford been making millions of dollars for over 10 years. Yet they still kept floating the narrative that he don't got no money, that he broke, that we're the ones making money. That's always was the narrative. He's the B-side. So basically the PBC created this whole narrative, and then they made fans run with it. The same things that the PBC fighters were saying, their fans started saying. Their fans started repeating what they were hearing from these PBC fighters. So they created a narrative where all these fans just hated Crawford because they picked a side. Wally Ama. What's up, Jay? It's been a while, been away on business, but I'm back in the building. Salute, family. Bam. And if you've been away on business, that means you handling business. Glad to see you over here, my brother. The letter M. Nintendo Power Magazine. Damn. Good memory. There you have it. The Nintendo Power Magazine, bro. I used to put the Ring magazine inside the Nintendo Power Magazine and be like, yo, Habibi, here. Bam. That magazine used to cost like $5 if I'm not mistaken. Quick, I'm wondering if it's just Floyd Mayweather situation where people just want to see him lose. Kind of, because people wanted to see Floyd Mayweather lose, and the PBC fan base also wanted to see Crawford lose. Clifton Dennis, is Manny in your top 5? Yes, sir. With his accomplishments and his resume, I got to put him in the top 5. William Amat, Jay, is I'm crazy for thinking that Manny has a better chance of beating Floyd this time than the first? I still got Floyd winning though. No, that's legitimate. And I'm gonna tell you what makes it a legit point of view. Remember, Manny Pacquiao is 2 years younger than Floyd. Floyd is now 49 and Manny's 47. So with Floyd being one step away from 50 years old, even if he's in good shape, is more diminished than Manny Pacquiao's. It's definitely more diminished. They're both going to be in great shape. They're both going to be in the best shape that they can get at their age. But Floyd's body is more diminished. Having said that, his skills can still carry him to get in that W. But here's what I think could be the difference in this fight, Wally. Floyd may not have the legs under him to move around for 12 rounds like he did in that first fight. He might have to stand in the pocket and trade with Manny a little bit more. So this fight could be more interesting and more entertaining to watch than the first one. Because if you remember, the first fight didn't live up to the expectations. People was disappointed. That was billed like the fight of the century, and it just wasn't as action-packed as we thought it would be. So this time around, with both of them being a little bit older, we might see them trading leather a little bit more than we saw the first time around. It's going to be, Floyd should be the favorite because he already beat him. And I think we should expect for Floyd to win this fight. But Manny Pacquiao has a better chance this time around. Side, they hated him because he didn't sign to the PBC and said he was a bad businessman. That's the thing, too. In hindsight, it was a smart. He never signed with the PBC. I'm going to tell you, Terence Crawford made PBC fans look dumb. You know why? Because remember when he was trying to do business with Errol Spence and he didn't like the numbers, so he went and signed with BLK Prime, that one fight deal? PBC fans floated the narrative that he was dumb, that he don't know how to do business, that what is he doing? But watch this. They playing checkers in their mind. Crawford was playing chess. Crawford went to BLK Prime, won, went back to the negotiating table and got a 50-50 deal and beat the shit out of Errol Spence. It turned out to be a great, smart move for him to go to BLK Prime for that one fight, because now when he sat on the negotiating table, he got way more money than what they originally offered him. Of course, it was a great move. It was a super smart business move what he did. So everybody that was saying that it was dumb for him to do that, they look dumb as hell. So what's somebody's reaction when they get made to look dumb? They hate you even more. How dare you make me look like a goofball? Look, the same people who told me that Errol Spence was going to get knocked out. That Crawford was going to get knocked out. Errol Spence, the big fish, was going to brutalize Terence Crawford. The same people who told me that the day after the fight, they was already, the car accident. Errol Spence is not the same no more. Errol Spence is washed. I'm like, God damn. Motherfuckers changed their opinion quick on Errol Spence. Threw him under the bus. Now he washed. Now he not the same. But you just told me he was going to knock him out. You spent 3 whole months telling me Errol Spence was going to kill him out there. Now all of a sudden he not the same no more. Come on, man. So we see that a lot in boxing where fans decide that they don't like this guy, and no matter what he does, they're going to find a way to diminish it. Terence Crawford was #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And the PBC fans were still talking about, he didn't beat nobody. He ain't never really beat nobody. His only real win is Errol, and Errol was done anyways. Damn, you get to #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world by fighting nobody? Who else? Who else have you seen that get to #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world by fighting nobody? So for you to say that the guy who's at the top of the pound-for-pound list ain't fight nobody, that can only mean 2 things. You don't know shit about boxing, or you don't like Terence Crawford. That's it. That's the reality right there. It can only be one of those 2. Nobody gets to the top of the pound-for-pound list by fighting nobody. It's impossible. Mr. KO, Manny still has a lesser of a chance. Sorry, Floyd isn't that stupid. No, Floyd is very smart. But at 49 years old, why would you think that Manny has less chance when he's fighting a Floyd that's close to 50? I think anybody fighting a 49-year-old Floyd has a better chance than fighting a 36-year-old Floyd, 37, 38-year-old Floyd. Floyd in his 30s was still able to beat any elite level fighter out there. The Floyd that beat Manny would have beat any world champion out there. 49-year-old Floyd, you think he could mess with Devin Haney right now? You think he could mess with Shakur Stevenson right now? You think he could mess with Teofimo Lopez? You think he could mess with these young, hungry fighters? Of course not. Floyd will get pummeled out there. Not because they better than him, but because he washed up. He's about to be 50 years old. So Manny definitely has a better chance against 49-year-old Floyd than he did versus 30, 37, 38-year-old Floyd, of course. While you're on my, hey, Jay, do you think it's possible if Floyd looks really good against Pacman? Do you think we can see Floyd Bud fight a year from now? Nah, I don't see it. I don't think Floyd will ever put himself in a situation. By the way, he would be the underdog. If Floyd was to fight Crawford, he would be the underdog. I don't think Floyd will ever put that O on the line when he's the underdog. And I'm going to tell you this. The last time in Floyd Mayweather's career that he was the underdog was versus Diego Chico Corrales. That was over 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Or like 20 years ago that he fought. Nah, bro, I think it was over 20 years ago that he fought Chico Corrales. So Floyd Mayweather did not make his career out of fighting as the underdog. He's always been the favorite. So as a 49, 50-year-old, he's not going to put that O on the line versus somebody like Terence Crawford. No, there is zero possibility. An exhibition, that's different. I don't know if an exhibition is something that he will do. But there's two elements to that. Number one, Floyd is never going to put that O on the line versus a much younger fighter. That's number one. And number two, Terence Crawford ain't even trying to come back. Like, he already said, yo, I'm retired and I'm standing on it. And I believe him. They asked him if he would take $100 million to come back, and he said no. I actually believe him. I don't see Terence Crawford coming back for no money. He good. His money is long, wealthy. Jay said now Crawford makes money, and he knows how to invest too. I'm telling you, he not playing around. That's it. Terence Crawford is done with boxing. Forget that. The letter M, second pro fight. Smith versus Judah. Damn, bro. Versus Zab Judah. You trying to get me killed out there. Zab is going to have to pay me millions to get in the ring with him. And as soon as I feel that first jab break my nose, I'm going down and I'm not standing back up. I'm going down. That's it. You broke my nose, motherfucker. I'm going down. Fuck out of here. You ain't going to kill me out here. JJ said this. Crawford should have beat the face of boxing. Crawford should have been the face of boxing. I mean, he became the face of boxing at the end of his career because he just didn't get those fights. Didn't get those fights. Clifton Dennis, Floyd, Bud, Roy, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, my top five. That's a good top five, but I would have put Roy in there. Roy was a great fighter, but the resume ain't no top five resume. Everybody in there, everybody that you put on that list beat more champions and got more accomplishments and beat more Hall of Famers than Roy Jones Jr. Everybody you put in there, if you look at their resume. The thing about Roy Jones Jr., and he is a great fighter, by the way, but the problem with Roy Jones Jr. is that he came up in an era where in the divisions that he fought, there wasn't a lot of big names. There wasn't a lot of real accomplished champions. I remember at one time, Roy Jones even fought a police officer. A police officer. When he was in his prime, a world champion, he fought a police officer, bro. So Roy got some good wins. He got in his resume James Toney. He got Bernard Hopkins. But if you keep going down the list, it's not too long. It's not too long. Those other guys got more of those type of wins than Roy Jones Jr. Mr. KO, I'm sure the age is going to show, but they will both be in top shape. To say Floyd's body more diminished is crazy, though. 49 to 47, why would you think it's not more diminished? Why wouldn't it be? You're not believing in Father Time? Like, because you have to understand, Mr. KO, Manny Pacquiao is in great shape too. Let me give you an example. Forget about them for a second. Let's say me and you, right? Just imagine if I was only 2 years older than you, and we both in great shape, and we both stay in great shape. When I'm 49 and you 47, my body's gonna be diminished, more diminished than yours, my G, because I'm about to be 50. How you think that somebody's just gonna stay strong and normal forever? That's not the case. The older you get, the more of an effect Father Time is gonna have on your body. We might both be in great shape physically because we both working out, but the 49-year-old body is definitely more diminished than the 47-year-old body. That's science, bro. That's just science. Mr. KO, Pacman chin still hurting from Marquez. Damn, he got slapped brutally. Why you gotta do Manny like that, bro? Mr. KO disagree. Floyd took care of himself better than Pac did, career-wise. But again, my G, it's not about taking care of yourself. Father Time does Father Time. Father Time does Father Time, my brother. JJ said that JSmiff, Oscar beat Virgil in court. I try to tell the people that's what's going to happen. I know you was here, JJ, because you're here every morning. And you remember I said, yo, he got a real bad argument in court. Talking about, yeah, since the zone contract expired, mine does too. What the hell is you talking about? You got a contract with Golden Boy. You ain't got no contract with the zone. And it's funny because I told people, yo, Virgil is cooked. You remember, JJ, I've been telling people he cooked. You lose a lawsuit against your promoter because you was trying to leave. How you think you're going to get treated now? Now you stuck in contract with Golden Boy. Your ass is cooked. Cooked. Wardley, hey, Jay, I heard a rumor that you was going to take on the winner of Floyd and Pacman. Hell yeah. I'm betting the house on you, my guy. I'm going to keep it 100. If I get that fight, bet the house that I'm losing. Bet the house that I'm losing. But I'm not getting that fight. I'm not that lucky. I would do it, though. I would do it. If I could get in there with Floyd or Manny, I would do it. But it would have made no sense for them to fight a guy with a professional record of 0-1. They're not going to fight me. And I'm not even famous. If I was super famous, maybe. Cass, don't forget that he looked high. Excuse. Oh, yeah, that was one of them. That was one of the many excuses. Clifton Dennis, because nobody thought the fight would be that one-sided. They had to find excuses for Arrow. I mean, I understand trying to find excuses, but how could you go from Errol Spence is going to knock Terence Crawford out to, nah, he washed up, he not the same anymore? Like, what? You make yourself look bad by switching up on Errol like that. Like, that's crazy. Jason there, I hope everything is good with John Parham. I mean, I think you met, like, have you heard something, JJ, that you're saying that, or just because he's not here? I hope everything is good too. Shackle hands. By the way, my peoples, I told y'all Bud was retiring. Side, Bud had that chip on his shoulder. I'm going to put it to you like this, bro. I can imagine a movie being made about Terence Crawford life and career. I could picture that happening. Because Terence Crawford's career played out like a movie. Just think about the hate that he always got. That he don't make money like that. That he don't put butts in seats. That he's not that big. That he's the B-side. All of those narratives. And what you have to understand is that while Crawford was trying to get that fight with Arrow, and they refused to give it to him, and he was fighting other people, he could have took a loss. That could have happened. And if he would have lost that WBO strap, he would have never fought Errol Spence, and his career would have played out differently. That happens in boxing. A guy's trying to get a title shot, and before getting it, boom, he take a L, and that derails him. Crawford just kept winning and winning and winning up until the point where Errol Spence couldn't duck him anymore. That's it. You either got to fight him or you got to be a duck. Because imagine if Errol Spence would have vacated all three of those belts and went to 154 without fighting Crawford. Everybody would have said that he a duck. So Crawford basically forced it until they had no choice but to fight him. And when he finally got that opportunity, what he do? Give Errol Spence the beating of a lifetime. All those people that spent 2-3 years talking about what Errol was gonna do to Bud, they got their hearts broken. Instead of becoming Terence Crawford fans, they hated him even more after that pummeling session that he put on Errol. And then what he does? Beat Madrimov, announced that he's going to jump up 2 divisions to fight Canelo, and the whole narrative started again. The entire Errol Spence PBC fan base, Tank Davis fan base, jumped on it. Oh, he's only doing this for the money. He know he's going to lose. He know he's going to get pummeled. Canelo's going to knock him out. Canelo's too strong. Only to watch him school Canelo, just make him look like a Wendy's second shift supervisor. Forget a supervisor. He made him look like a Wendy's janitor. So it's like the people who keep hating on him keep floating the narrative that he's going to lose, that he's going to lose to this guy, that he's going to lose to this guy, and he beats him instantly. So Terence Crawford been doing nothing but proving the haters wrong. That's what he's been doing. International what? Are you serious? A lot of people on pound for pound and didn't fight anyone. A lot of people on pound for pound and didn't fight anyone. Can you name some of them? Go ahead, name some of them. I don't know who you're talking about. Name some of them, bro. Go ahead, International Wood. Name some of the people that's on the pound for pound and they didn't fight anyone. Queeb, I feel bad now for PBC fans. Now they can't really say anything about Mr. Crawford anymore. And for them for looking foolish is their statement back then. Not only that, Queeb, I want you to consider this. At one point, I posted that PBC was going downhill. When PBC signed with Amazon Prime, I say, yo, they cooked. They are cooked. And a lot of PBC fans jumped on me brutally. You don't know shit about boxing. You just an Al Heyman hater and a PBC hater, because then there's the Al Heymanites too. You're an Al Heyman and PBC hater. Where's PBC right now? How many cards did PBC have in the entire 2025? Like 3, 4? How many cards PBC got lined up this year that you know about? How many PBC fighters are inactive, haven't fought in years, haven't had a single fight on Amazon Prime? Oh, shit. My peoples, look what I just got in the mail. Look what I just got in the mail. This is crazy. Oh. More, mira la gata ahí. Saca la gata. Let me show you what I got in the mail, my people. This is fire, bro. Finally. Finally, my peoples. I gotta show you. Boom. I've been waiting for this, my people. Boom. This is from Google, y'all. From Google. So, you guys know that my YouTube channel is monetized, right? But for me to have the money that goes into the channel deposited into my account, I had to get this letter from Google. I've been waiting for this letter. I finally got it, y'all. So the money that people put in the super chat, the money from the views, from the commercials, all that shit, I haven't been able to touch a dime. Because I was waiting for Google to get this letter to me. Since I'm in the Dominican Republic, it took forever. I finally got it, my peoples. Google sent it to your boy JSmiff. They sent this shit on February 26th, so I got it pretty quick. Finally. Yeah, Google know about me. Talk to me, Google. Yes, sir. Shackle hands, you drinking chocolate milk today? Or some pick-me-up coffee or water? So coffee, I don't drink coffee anymore, my G. I quit. I used to smoke cigarettes back in the day. And when I used to smoke cigarettes, I used to drink coffee. But when I stopped smoking cigarettes, then the coffee just started tasting different. And then I just stopped drinking coffee. Sometimes I might go to Starbucks and get me a little frappuccino. But I don't be drinking coffee like that. Sorry, JSmiff on that chocolate milk latte. Now, I was actually drinking lemon juice. So, because I'm cutting weight right now, I'm not drinking too much chocolate milk. Because chocolate milk has a lot of cholesterol. And it makes it harder for you to lose weight. Clifton Dennis. I think Floyd can possibly beat one of them because Manny had a draw with a champion. But that champion was Mario Barrios. I don't think Manny would have had a draw versus Fedoro versus some of these other guys. Side, an exhibition would be fire. Just display their skills. Clifton Dennis. I didn't know that Floyd been favorite for that long. So he was favorite versus Oscar too, yeah. I mean, by the time he fought Oscar, bro, Oscar was already a full-blown cokehead. Full-blown, like out of order already. His personal life was in shambles. If anything, Oscar De La Hoya versus Floyd Mayweather showed how good Oscar De La Hoya actually was. You know why? Because this guy was a full-blown cokehead, full-blown cross-dressing alcoholic, personal life in shambles, and he still fought Floyd to a split decision. Remember, Floyd gave Maidana and Castillo a rematch. He didn't give Oscar a rematch. He preferred to retire for a year. Rematch clause had a year to expire. Floyd retired for that year. Finished. Because if you got a rematch clause with a fighter, guess what? You can't fight nobody else. Floyd couldn't fight nobody else. He had to fight the rematch. So he retired. He announced his retirement. And literally a year later, announced that he was coming back to boxing. That's how good Oscar De La Hoya was. Even when he was just cooked in his personal life. Fought Floyd to a split decision, arguably the best fighter ever of all time. And you went to a split decision with Oscar De La Hoya, who was on coke. Yo, Oscar De La Hoya was that guy, bro. Skip a clip. I'm putting all my money on Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, too. I mean, I expect Floyd to be the favorite. I expect him to be the favorite in that fight. Quick, 2 questions. What does Mr. Crawford now do after his career? I mean, Crawford, he's going to be obviously supporting his sons who's wrestling and you know, whatever else they want to do. Crawford is into investing in properties, into flipping properties. He also has sponsors. So he's going to have a lot to do. He's going to have a lot of different things that he got his hands on. And I don't think that's been announced, but I've heard that he's going to do Terence Crawford Promotions. He's going to do his own promotional companies and start signing fighters, developing fighters. Somebody told me that he should become a coach. I don't see Crawford becoming a coach because, and if you think about it, most great fighters never get into coaching. Why? Because coaching demands too much time from you. And then you can't focus on the other things that you want to do. If you're coaching, you know, you're with the fighters in the gym, you're in training camp, then you have multiple fighters. Some of them are training for a fight. Some of them are preparing to do a debut. Some of them are, you know, so coaching is a full-time job that you got to be on it. So I don't think Crawford will become a coach, but I could see him becoming a promoter. TBC Promotions might be on the way. JJ said that's January 20, 2021, Mayweather and Corrales. Look at that shit. And I said over 20 years ago. It is over 20 years ago, 25 years ago. That was the last time that Floyd Mayweather was the underdog. Very long time ago. So he's definitely not going to get himself in a fight where he's the underdog at 49, 50 years old. That will not happen. For sure. Sad. Imagine Bud would have got all the PBC fighting and Charlo after Arrow. I mean, if he would have got that, look, if Terence Crawford would have got those fights when Errol Spence was avoiding him at 147, when they was trying to bring all the belts to Errol, if he would have got Danny, Keith, Ugas, if he would have got all those guys, he would have beat him and he would have became the face of boxing back then. But they didn't want him to become the face of boxing. So they kept all those fighters away from him. You don't remember when all those guys was talking about, yeah, I need $10 million to fight him. Well, we know the $10 million is the figure that you ask for when you don't want to fight. When you don't want to make the fight, yeah, give me $10 million. Look at Floyd Schofield Sr. talking about, we want Abdullah Mason, but we need $10 million. You know, goddamn well nobody going to give Floyd Schofield no $10 million for a fight. So they know what they was doing. They held Crawford back. And to show you how much they wanted to hold him back, you don't remember he had that rematch clause with Errol Spence? And Errol Spence said, yeah, we're going to fight this rematch. And after a year, when that shit was going to expire, that's when Errol Spence was like, nah, I'm dropping out of this one. We're not going to fight the rematch. Forget it. What did they do exactly? They froze Terence Crawford out of boxing for almost a year. After beating Errol, he could have went and fought right away. But he couldn't fight because Errol was like, nah, we got a rematch clause. We're going to fight. They froze him out for a year, bro. And then to show you further what they did, Terence Crawford was Sebastian Fundora's mandatory at 154 when he moved up because he had the WBO. And y'all don't remember when Errol Spence climbed the ring with Fundora? Nah, I'm going to fight Fundora. They did a face-off and everything. And did Errol Spence fight Fundora? No. They only did that shit so Crawford won't get the fight. So they froze him out for a year, and they pulled a funny-ass move just to make sure that Crawford don't get Fundora at 154. So they put a lot of hard work into holding Crawford back from becoming the big star that he could have became back then. But look, things play out the way they're going to. If you're great, nobody's going to be able to stop your greatness. Crawford ended his career as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, fighter of the year, one of the most famous fighters in boxing, one of the most paid fighters in boxing. Crawford made more money than all of those PBC dudes who were saying, we making the real money. He not making no money over there. He made more money than all of them. See, when you great, nobody's going to be able to stop your greatness. Young Guns. Roy Jones beat a Hall of Famer. Beat a lot of Hall of Fame fighters. So, James Toney, yes. Hopkins, yes. Vinny Paz, no. And I'm going to tell you why I say Vinny Paz, no. I watched that fight. I watched that fight live. Bro, Vinny Paz was a little midget in front of Roy Jones Jr. Vinny Paz was a little midget. Easy money. That was too easy. That was too easy. Vinny Paz, little as hell. That's one. Virgil Hill, come on, man. Come on. Virgil Hill, what are we talking about? Mike McCullough, what are we talking about? Come on now. And Tito Trinidad, little as hell. Tito Trinidad was a welterweight fighter who by the time he fought Roy Jones Jr. was way up there. Come on. The legit names on the list that you put up right there is James Toney and Bernard Hopkins. The other ones, nah. Virgil, look, I'm going to put it to you like this. Virgil Hill was never on the pound-for-pound list. Mike McCullough was never on the pound-for-pound list. Tito Trinidad was a great fighter and a Hall of Famer, but he was too small for Roy Jones Jr. That's like when Bernard Hopkins beat Oscar De La Hoya and Tito Trinidad. Bernard Hopkins is a career fighter, 168 and above. Oscar De La Hoya started his career, what, like 135? By the time he fought Hopkins, come on, bro. The same with Trinidad. This guy was a welterweight fighter who kept moving up, and Hopkins was too big for him. When people talk about Hopkins' great wins, Trinidad's not one of them. I mean, Trinidad's a great fighter that he beat, but it's a smaller guy that moved up a bunch of divisions already. So the names that I will call out from your list is two. James Toney, Bernard Hopkins. Those are legitimate Hall of Famer wins. Virgil Hill, bro, most people don't even know Virgil Hill. If you're not a boxing fan, you can't even pull out Virgil Hill out of a lineup, bro. The same with Mike McCullough. If you're not a true boxing fan, you can see a picture with 3 people and Mike McCullough is one of them, and most people can't pull out who Mike McCullough out of those 3 people. Queeb, second question, if you're the main doctor for the Floyd and Manny fight, what's your biggest concern for the physicality? I really think that they should not push themselves too far for brain damage. So to be honest, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting, period. They shouldn't be fighting, period. Because of their age. The thing about us human beings, especially men, we're very cocky about our physicality. We don't like to accept when our body's diminishing. We don't like to accept when our brain is diminishing. We want to be strong about it. We need somebody else to protect us from ourselves. So I promise you, neither Floyd nor Pacquiao should be fighting, period. But they have that ego. These are world champions. These are warriors. These are great fighters. They have that ego and they want to keep fighting. I want to fight. I'm 47, bro, and I'm telling you, if I find somebody close to my age, you're going to see me stepping in the ring again. That's just the reality. So, ultimately, they should not be fighting. But if they are going to fight, then it's good that they're fighting each other because they're both close to the same age. Nobody's going to get hurt. Nobody's going to get knocked out or beat up because the age where they at, 49, 47. But you imagine Floyd Mayweather trying to get in there with Teofimo Lopez, trying to get in there with Boots. He get killed out there. Manny Pacquiao too. Try to fight bulls, he will get killed. So at least I think that they should not be fighting, but the fact that they're fighting each other, that's good because it's two old guys fighting each other. Side, I'm about to get in some homemade sweet potato and fish. Ooh, damn, that's elite level stuff right there. Clifton Dennis, you 2 years make a difference. That's interesting. 2 years, listen, the older you get, the less amount of time makes a difference. The older you get. So, for example, if somebody's 21 and the other guy's 23, it's not that much of a difference. Somebody 25, somebody 27, that's not that much of a difference. If somebody's 47 and somebody's 49, that's a difference. Now it makes a difference. If you're 49 and the other guy's 51, that makes a difference. The older you get, the shorter amount of time is going to make a difference. Mr. KO, that's not what I'm saying. It's also a mental thing too. Floyd just knows how to take care of himself and never had to get spoon-fed from his wife. Young Guns. But it's a great fighter. But I honestly only see one, maybe two fighters that are 100% going in Hall of Fame that he beat. The letter M. Number 1, Mayweather. Number 2, Tyson. Number 3, Duran. Number 4, Ali. Number 5, Mayorga. And my dream fight, Arrow. Clifton Dennis, I think we age differently, and being 2 years apart, it can go either way, just my opinion. JSmiff, Father Time is undefeated. That's the magic word right there, man. Father Time is undefeated. The one thing, Clifton Dennis, that you got to understand, Father Time is undefeated, bro, and everybody ages. And the aging process, you can't stop it. You can't stop no matter how strong you are mentally, how sharp you are mentally, the aging process, you cannot stop it from having an effect on your body. You can't. It's gonna take a toll. I guarantee you that right now, at 49 years old, Floyd can't run like he used to. So he might still be running those 5 miles a day, or 6, 7, 8 miles a day. But guess what? He can't do it at the same speed that he used to. No more. Why? Because his body can't handle it. His knees can't handle it. His ankles can't handle it. Take that from a long distance runner. I put it to you like this right now. Floyd is one of the boxers that runs the most. A lot of boxers don't run like Floyd. Today, I would absolutely cook Floyd Mayweather in running. If me and Floyd go running, where he got to stop because he can't keep going no more because he ran out of energy, out of 5, 6 miles, whatever it is, I'm going to keep going. I'm not just going to keep going. I'm going to speed up and keep going faster. And run way longer distance than Floyd can. I'd cook him today. I guarantee you that. I show you my numbers to show you that I would cook Floyd if we go out running together. Because he's 49 years old. He can't run like he used to. You know what that's called? Diminished. That's what that's called. Cass, I don't think 2 years older will be significant. We'll see. We'll see when they step in the ring. Because it not necessarily has to be. Like I told you, Floyd is a very skilled fighter. But as far as their body, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are both guys who are going to go in great shape. Only Manny is 2 years younger. Mr. KO, the age is going to show, though. I agree. And oh yeah, Ortiz is cooked. I don't know why I have people telling me, now Ortiz is going to be straight. Oscar De La Hoya is the one that's going to have to do this and that. Man, listen. You sue your promoter and you lose, and you stuck with him, your ass is cooked. Now Oscar know you trying to leave. He know you trying to leave now. And for those of you who don't know, Virgil Ortiz's contract expires with Golden Boy in May of next year. He got a year and 3 months left under Golden Boy. Oscar already know he's going to leave. So for the people that say Oscar's trying to protect Virgil, why would you try to protect somebody that you know is going to leave, that's trying to leave? If anything, you want to feed them to the wolves. Let me make sure you get your ass whooped before you go sign with another promoter. That's what Oscar De La Hoya is going to be thinking at. The letter M, Smith versus Mayorga. And I think you can beat his ass for real. Mayorga dealing with drug problems, bro. Dealing with nasty drug problems. Nasty, nasty. Clifton Dennis, I've been wondering where he's been too. John Parham. Yeah, I haven't heard from John Parham for a few days, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's just working. I hope that's the case. He working, you know, getting that bread, and maybe that's why. JSmiff, yes, you did, JSmiff. Remember that I said if Virgil loses in court, he will get put on a shelf. He got a year and 3 months left. Don't be surprised if Virgil get put on a shelf and collect dust. JSmiff, just because he hasn't been here with us talking about John. Yeah, you know, we haven't seen him for a few days, but I think that could be the case. He out there grinding, making that paper. Pit. Where did Crawford won his first championship fight? Was it in Atlantic City? Man, listen, to be honest, off the top of my head, it's hard for me to say that. Hard for me to say that. It was a long time ago. His first championship, he won it at 135, bro. So that's a long time ago. Wait a minute, was that 135 or 140? 140, 147, 154. Yeah, it was at 135. So that's a long time ago, bro. Young Guns, it took Hagler 50 fights before he got a title shot. Politicians had to step in to get him to fight. You see, it happens. Sometimes you're so great that people don't want to fight you. They don't want to step in there. Wally Ahmad, Jay, do you think Boots ever wanted to fight Bud? Especially after watching what happened to Spence? So, I don't know, man. Honestly, I believe that they was chasing clout. And I tell you, I believe that they was chasing clout because they had an opportunity to fight Bud. He could have went to BLK Prime. He could have signed a one-fight deal and fought Bud on BLK Prime. And they chose not to. And you know why I feel like they was clout chasing? You could look for the video. You could look for the video. Not clout chasing. Not necessarily clout chasing. But you could look for the video. Bozy himself said they made an offer, but they wanted us to sign with them. And we loyal to Espinosa, to Showtime. We decided to stay here. But remember, shortly after that, Showtime pulled the plug on boxing. They didn't even keep fighting on Showtime after that. So even Steven Espinosa could have told them, yo, go fight him on BLK Prime. We're about to pull the plug on boxing anyways over here. Listen, Showtime didn't just randomly pull the plug on boxing like, okay, we done with boxing. That's something that was planned for like a year or over a year. Because Showtime was losing hella money on boxing. What happened to Showtime is the same thing that happened to HBO. They overpaid a lot of fighters to secure those fights. But those fights did not generate the return of investment like they thought it would. It just didn't materialize. So you had all these guys who were known, but they wasn't as big of stars as Showtime thought. And that goes for Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Ugas. Arrow earlier on when they was first on Showtime Boxing, they wasn't as big stars as they sold them to be. So Showtime lost mad money overpaying those guys. Remember, those guys were making $1 million, $2 million a fight. None of them was on pay-per-view at that time, getting money. Showtime overpaid and lost mad money. So they was already planning on pulling the plug on boxing. When Terence Crawford offered Errol Spence that fight on BOK Prime, Showtime already knew they was going to be done with boxing. They just had not announced it publicly, but they already knew it was over. So why didn't Steven Espinosa say, yo, yeah, go fight him over there. We done over here. Y'all remember when Adrian Broner said, and that was a video that he posted, yo, Steven Espinosa and Showtime, that's over with. They done. We gonna be fighting on Twitter after this. AB turned out to be right. You see, when you're a little bit crazy in the head and you do a lot of crazy stuff, nobody believe you. People think you're just talking crazy. But AB was 100% right. Because when he said that, nobody believed that Showtime was going to end boxing. A lot of people went hard on me when I was like, yo, Showtime is over. Oh, you just hating on the PBC. You don't know shit. Then they all disappeared. When I said I told you so, they all disappeared. But Broner was 100% right. You know why he said we're going to be fighting on Twitter next? Because he already knew PBC burned their bridges with ESPN, burned their bridges with Showtime, obviously, burned their bridges with Fox Sports. They burned their bridges with all the networks. They burned their bridges with the Zone, who they was beefing with, obviously, with Eddie and them, and disrespected the Zone. We don't fight on a little app. We fight on Showtime. They burned all of the bridges. So Broner knew, he said that they was going to be fighting on Twitter because he knew that they was going to have to find a new platform to host their fights. Enter Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime never had boxing fights. They never hosted no type of fights. So AB was right. AB was suggesting we're going to have to go to a whole new platform because we done shitted on everybody. And that's exactly what they did. They went to a new platform. And what's happened to PBC since? Most people can't name half of the roster over there. Bunch of fighters that are inactive. A bunch of fighters who left the PBC. So AB was right. People didn't want to see it. They didn't want to accept it. He was right. Young Guns. No, Wally Ahmad. Jay, do you think Boots ever wanted to? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It really did. The way that it played out, it don't look like Boots really wanted that action with Crawford. And then remember, Boots moved up to 154. What he asked for? A tune-up. A tune-up with Lima. When Crawford moved up to 154, he went straight for the world champion. Jumped up 2 divisions and went after Canelo. Boots asking for a tune-up. So, I don't know. I don't know if he really wanted that fight. Real talk. Clifton Dennis, hearts were shattered. Side, they're still recovering to this day. Young Guns, JSmiff getting those Google checks. Man, Google finally hit me up, bro. God damn. Took long enough. Why do you my Jay? Give me 3 dream matches in your perfect world. Crossing eras and all. Alright. So, Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali. I would have loved to see that fight. Floyd Mayweather versus Sugar Ray Leonard. I would have loved to see that fight. And then to round it off, Terence Crawford versus Roberto Duran. All of those fights in their prime. Shakur Stevenson, Prince Nassim Hamed. That's a fight I would have liked to see too. Clifton Dennis, I remember that Floyd-Oscar fight. I thought I was close. I thought it was close. I rewatched it with my dad the next day. He showed Oscar was hitting gloves mostly. Taught me something. I was too focused on Oscar volume punching. But it was a split decision. It was a close fight. CZR. Wasn't Bob Arum the problem with Bud? I mean, it's easy to say that he was the problem, but he wasn't, because those PBC guys didn't want to fight him. The real problem was that PBC did not want their champions fighting Terence Crawford. That's why they allowed Errol Spence to collect all 3 of those belts. Crawford was trying to get Keith. Keith talking about $10 million. He was trying to get Danny. Danny talking about $10 million. When they had titles. He was trying to fight Sean Porter. Look, they allowed Sean Porter to fight Crawford when he wasn't a champion anymore. Why they didn't let him fight him when he had a belt? So the whole thing with the PBC was, we're going to freeze Terence Crawford out. We're not going to let him unify titles. We're not going to do it. Matter of fact, to remind you how disrespectful the PBC was to Terence Crawford, you don't remember that time that they did like an honor thing for the welterweight champions, and they put up a big screen where they had Errol Spence, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, and Keith Thurman. They had the welterweight champions, and they left Terence Crawford out. That's how much they try to diminish him. They try to act like his WBO title didn't exist. Look at the current welterweight champions. Bang! Left Terence Crawford out. So the PBC, they did everything and anything to diminish Terence Crawford. Shaku hands. Ha 10 milli. Schofield's Holyfield back out of fight fields. Yo, you see, Floyd Schofield Pops talking about they want 10 million to fight Abdullah Mason. Side, PBC been blocking, but yo, the PBC worked extra overtime to block Terence Crawford, to diminish his accomplishments, to even make him inactive. Look how they did with Errol. Yeah, we're going to do a rematch. We're going to do a rematch. Frozen for a whole year. And then after the year, nah, I'm not going to do no rematch. Kept him out of the Fundora fight by saying, nah, Errol's going to fight Fundora. And then what happened with Errol? He didn't fight Fundora. He's still inactive. He still hasn't fought. That Errol versus Fundora shit, they only did it so that Terence Crawford don't get that fight. Only for that. And remember, it went as far as Errol Spence climbing in the ring with Fundora, doing a face-off and everything. And they even put a fight date out there. This date is the fight date. Errol versus Fundora. And there was never no fight. Even Errol Spence was like, I'm fighting Fundora, ha. I'm going to fight when I'm ready. So they've done a lot. They did a lot to block Terence Crawford. And look how he ended his career. #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. One of the biggest wins in boxing history. And got more money than all of those guys who try to diminish him. Queen. So if that's the case, why make a good coach experience in fighting or experience in teaching coaching? Will Mr. Crawford make a good coach or even a promoter? So one thing that I've seen in boxing, and it's not just in boxing, it's in all sports. Being great at a sport doesn't automatically make you a great coach. In fact, a lot of great fighters don't become great coaches. You know why? Because they're so great that they don't have the patience with somebody who isn't. They don't have that type of patience. So most of the time, look at Roy Jones. Is Roy Jones known as a great coach? Nope. He's not known as a great coach. And he's coached. He hasn't developed nobody. He hasn't made no world champions. He's worked already with champions, but there's nobody at a lower level who we can say, yo, Roy Jones developed him into a great fighter. He hasn't done it. So oftentimes, this is interesting. Listen to this. Oftentimes, the great coaches are the guys who were not great fighters, who were good fighters, decent fighters, but they was never great. And you know what's part of that, why that happens? Because a great coach doesn't have to be great inside the ring. He has to be great up here. Because you can have knowledge, but you don't have the physical ability to carry it out in the ring, but you still have the knowledge to pass it down to somebody who does have that physical ability, and you can make them a champion, or you can make them keep being successful. Honestly, I think I could be a great coach. If I had the opportunity to coach somebody, I think I have a shot. But I digress. The point is that great fighters, oftentimes they don't become great coaches. Can he be a great promoter? I think so. I think he really can. And that's the thing. That's part of why great fighters, it's harder for them to be a great coach, because coaching is a full-time job. Coaching is a full-time job. So for you to dedicate yourself 100% to coaching, if you was a great fighter, that's tough to do because you have a lot of shit going on in your life. Terence Crawford got a lot going on. To pause everything and just focus on coaching, I don't see that happening. Shaku Hands, I remember all of that nonsense. Side, and Arrow never fought him. You see, it was all about blocking Terence Crawford from getting the fight. Wadi Ahmad, do you think Keyshawn and Abdullah Mason will be this generation's Crawford and Boots? Good match, that'll never happen. The thing is, man, that they multiple divisions apart. Multiple divisions apart. And that'll make it difficult for it to happen. You know, if you think about it, Abdullah, he's super young and he just became a champion at 135. Keyshawn is already going to be fighting at 147, 2 divisions apart. But he might stick around at 147 and eventually Abdullah catches up to him. But if that fight happens, we're talking about 5, 6, 7 years down the line. We won't see that no time soon because Abdullah Mason is going to look to accomplish a lot at 135. And then he's going to look to accomplish a lot at 140 before going to welterweight. So it'll be a very long time before they're both in the same division. Clifton Dennis, did Fundora drop a belt to Doug Bud? I'm not sure if he ended up dropping that belt. Honestly, I can't remember if he dropped that belt. The way that he avoided Bud is that Arrow climbed the ring and they announced the fight and everything. Yeah, we're going to fight next. This is the fight date and everything. And that's it. Crawford went in a different direction. That's why he fought Madrimov. He was trying to fight Fundora. Clifton Dennis, did Roy beat Tarver? I'm going to remind you, Tarver beat the crap out of Roy. They had the first fight. It was controversy. And then in the rematch, Tarver just absolutely stopped him. Brutally. Side, Mike McCullough is great. But he was geriatric when he fought Roy. Geriatric? What do you mean by that? Jay is in the house. Let's get some more likes for JSmiff. Don't ghost watch. Man, damn, not even 30 likes. Golly, over 2 hours of action? Jesus Christ, what did I do wrong today, y'all? On Lace, I turned 43 in 12 days. You're going to be 43 years, my brother. You got a lot to go, a lot to live for. JJ announced Crawford won his first title in Glasgow, Scotland. defeated Ricky Burns. And I remember at that time, Ricky Burns was like the best fighter he ever faced. Put the beats on him. Wally Ahmad, Jay, is this Fundora fight the last chance for Keith one-time Thurman at a title from a legit champion? I think it just depends how the fight plays out. Because if Keith loses in a very competitive fight, or let's say he drops Fundora but still loses, or loses in a split decision, we're going to see him again getting big fights. Now, if he get pulverized, if he get blown out of the water, knocked out early, made to look bad, yeah, he's done. But I don't think it's going to happen like that. I feel confident. I'm not making a prediction just yet, but I feel confident that this is going to be it's going to be a competitive fight. Keith Thurman is a great fighter. He's going to be competitive. So honestly, I don't think it's going to be his last opportunity. We're going to see Keith Thurman again. Side, I did a 4-minute mile. 27:35. Oh no, my bad. I did 4 miles in 27:35. So let me see. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, side. 4 miles in 27 minutes, 35 seconds. That's pretty good. I beat that, though. Let me see. Hold on. I beat that, but not by much. That's good. That's pretty good. You're running pretty fast to do it at 27:35. Queeb, who do you think is the next Crawford, and how long would it take for the person to get to Mr. Crawford level? Which fighters should they fight to prove that? That's tough. That's tough because if we're thinking about accomplishments, we might never see. In our lifetime, we might not see somebody become undisputed in 3 divisions. We might not see somebody jump up 2 divisions and beat the face of boxing as the underdog. I want you to consider the significance of what Terence Crawford did. The last fight of his career at 38 years old was him jumping up 2 divisions, being the underdog, and winning, right? What was the last fight of Floyd Mayweather's career? Conor McGregor, a guy with a record of 0-0-0. So Floyd Mayweather's last fight was basically a super cherry pick to get to 50-0. A guy with 0 professional boxing experience. Terence Crawford last fight, Canelo Alvarez, from jumping up 2 divisions. So I don't know, bro, that we're going to see another Crawford. We're going to see people accomplish. We're going to see people do big things. But what Crawford did, we might not see it, bro. We might not see it. Mr. KO, what's next for Virgil this year? What might be next for Virgil this year, bro, might be inactivity. In a shelf collecting dust. What's next for Virgil, Oscar De La Hoya is going to decide it. He's stuck with Golden Boy until May of next year. He cooked. Shako hands. I'll let y'all know if I speak to him. Sometimes he just be grinding for sure. Side, I hope John is so good. I hope so too, man. For sure. But I got a feeling, man, he just out there grinding, getting that bread. On lace kick, Superman. How's the family? Shaggy, peace, my people. See you again soon. Salute, my brother. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in. My peoples, look what Keith Thurman said, y'all. Check out what Keith Thurman said. Shakur's are very defensive and skillfully offensive. At least Ryan's got that power on his side. That can potentially do something. So, Keith Thurman is telling us that Ryan Garcia has a shot to beat Shakur Stevenson. He got a shot, according to Keith. Dallas Peel, is everyone sleeping on Jai Opataya? Nah, bro. Jai Opataya He a monster. He a monster. I'm surprised that they got him a little cherry pick for his first fight on Zuffa Boxing. I would have expected something better than that. Young Guns. McCollum gave Tony a good fight at cruiserweight after Roy beat him. If you tear down that win because of age, I have to do same for Floyd, for example, who fought a lot of guys past prime. On lace kick, Superman, can't complain. Wes does it. Like activated. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you. Young Guns. Mosley was 38 when Floyd beat him. Cass. Willie Pep versus Salvador Sanchez at featherweight. Whoa. Whoa. That would have been crazy. Wes Dusser. Good morning. JSmiff and Box Center family. Good morning, my brother. God gave us another one. Hell yeah. Shackle Hands. The PBC clan will try to say Bud was the reason because he didn't know which way to have a rematch. No. That's fake news. It's not that he didn't know what weight to have the rematch. I'm going to remind you, they had a contract that the winner would select the weight class. Not only that, if I beat you for your titles at welterweight, why would I want to fight you in a different division where we're not going to fight for those titles that I just got from you? Where else have you ever seen that two guys fight for a title and the rematch happens in a whole new division? The PBC fans, a lot of them don't know shit about boxing, and those who do just didn't like Terence Crawford. He's the winner. He decides where the rematch goes. I wanted to fight. You want to fight me again? We're going to fight for those same titles that I took from your ass. But it's not about the weight. You know why? Errol Spence still haven't fought, bro. It's been 2.5 years. You really believe that Errol Spence would have fought Bud if the weight class was right for him? It's been over 2.5 years and he still ain't been back in the ring. Bud retired him from that beating. Retired him. So the argument about it's because of the weight class, that's a dumb argument to even make when Errol Spence hasn't been back since that ass whooping. Wally, Jay, my dream fights are Hagler versus Roy Jones at 154. I like it. Pernell Sweetpea, Bud Crawford at 140. Ooh, I like that. Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe. Ooh, damn, those some good ones. Shackle Hands, the PBC channel be saying that Bud messed up negotiations. I'm telling you, they floated the narrative. They always floated a narrative on Terence Crawford. But ultimately, he ended up being better than all of their guys. Having a better resume than all of their guys. Making more money than all of their guys. Terence Crawford beat the PBC. He didn't just beat Errol. He beat the entire PBC and their fans. Pummeled all of them. Side, like Roach and Stewart. Some great coaches never boxed. There's great coaches, it's true. There's great coaches that never boxed. Or not that never boxed, because a lot of these coaches, they boxed at a lower level. You know, they was an amateur boxer, and then they quit boxing, and then eventually became a coach. Side, Virgil Hunter never boxed. Mr. KO, Mercer versus Schofield, future fight. That's a big fight, man. That's a big fight when it does get made. I asked Greg Hackett about it yesterday. And he told me that fight probably won't happen till like 2028. Because they're going to keep building it. They're going to keep giving Floyd Schofield, you know, easier fights for as long as they can. And building him as a star, too. Mr. KO, Murataya versus Mason, a good fight, too. Raymond Murataya, my peoples. Listen, I want to see what's next for him. After he beat Andy Cruz, I want to see what's next. And let me just point something out. I want to point something out for you guys. Andy Cruz will 100%, without a shred of doubt, become a world champion. I promise you that. You're going to see him become a world champion. Remember, I told you that. So, what you see here is a comment that Keith Thurman made. And Keith Thurman is giving Ryan Garcia an opportunity to beat Shakur. Queen, what does PBC have to do to see more legitimate now after the time? Did the PBC leave a bad taste in your mouth? No Diddy? Nah, listen. I honestly, I don't like what the PBC did to Crawford, how they did him. But ultimately, I'm a fan of boxing. You know, when the PBC puts together good fights, I'm tuning in, I'm watching. It's just that the way that they handle themselves led to where they at right now. Right now, the PBC's on Amazon Prime. They don't have a dance partner over there. Most of their fighters are inactive. A lot of fighters leaving the PBC. So they put themselves in a bad position. I don't have a problem with the PBC. You know, I don't like the way that they dealt with Crawford. But that's the past. Terence Crawford is retired. I'm not holding a grudge against anybody. But I think it's easy to see that they messed up and they paying the price for it. They paying for it badly. Tay John, you with the IBF or Zuffa, Jay? So I support the sanctioning bodies except the WBC. Fuck the WBC. Bitch ass niggas. But I support the sanctioning bodies and I support Zuffa boxing. I like what Zuffa boxing is doing. They giving us more fights. They giving us interesting fights. So I don't got a reason to knock them. Wally, hey Jay, do you think Apollo Creed dug Trevor Lang? Why he never took the fight when Rocky lost to him? You mean Clubber Lang? I think Apollo Creed knew that his career was over. Remember, he only came back for what should have been an exhibition against Ivan Drago and got murked. So I think he knew he was cooked, his career was over. And then Clubber Lang was a bully. He didn't want none of that action. You don't remember Clubber Lang was dissing him? So I think he knew. He was like, yeah, I'm not trying to get knocked out by this dude. I could prepare Rocky to beat him, though. And if you recall, he didn't even like Rocky because Rocky beat him. It's just that when Rocky got his ass whooped, he was like, he just showed up and decided to help him out. Just do boxing in the building. Bam, salute, my brother. Listen, fellas, look, Keith Thurman says that Shakur Stevenson, it's a great defensive fighter and got skills offensively. But he says Ryan Garcia has a shot to do something because of his power. Queen, so is this going to be Ryan's next opponent for his title? So here's the deal. You guys seen that Ryan floated the possibility of fighting Shakur at 140 for his belt, right? But what I'm hearing, somebody actually came on the show, Camachito. He got people on the inside. And what he told me is that they trying to figure out the right catch weight. They haven't agreed. So I guess Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson may be going back and forth behind the scenes about what catch weight they're going to fight at and other details potentially. But with Devin Haney possibly fighting Rollies next, I think that opens the door for Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia to make that happen. And I would love to see that fight. I really want to see that fight. JJ said that has 30 likes. My people, hit that like button. There's no ghost watching in 2026. Whoa, Young Guns with the super chat vibes. Salute, my brother. I appreciate you, man. You guys know this ain't about the money. This is about the love for the sweet signs. Young Guns, I see the love that you're showing me right now, and I appreciate you, my G. What you got for me? What win was most enjoyable? Bud over EJ or Canelo? Ooh, you threw a curveball right there, fam. You threw a curveball, Young Guns. And I'm going to tell you why. Bud versus Arrow was so enjoyable just because so many people Notably, the PBC fan base was saying he was going to get pummeled. And it was so enjoyable to watch Terence Crawford just beat the shit out of Errol. Just beat him up. But damn, yo, Crawford versus Canelo, jumping up to division, watching this narrative once again of he's too small, he's just in it for the money, he know he's gonna lose, and then watch him beat Canelo too. They was both, man, listen, it's hard for me to pick one, to be honest. It's real hard for me to pick one. But I think, I want to say Errol because he stopped him, like pummeled him, dropped him multiple times. But then again, when you look at Canelo jumping up 2 divisions, and Canelo being the face of boxing, Canelo obviously a way bigger name than Errol and all of that. It's hard to say, bro. It's really hard to say. Look, if you put me in a corner, you tell me pick one, I think I would pick the win over Errol. Because Crawford's win over Canelo is more historically significant. People don't understand what we watch, man. People just don't understand how significant that win is. We witness history, y'all. We witness a fighter jump from 154 to 168 and beat an undisputed champion. We might never see that in our lifetime again. We never seen it before, and we might never see it again. We witness history. So on a historical level, that's a bigger win. But enjoyable to watch, I think it's the Errol fight. Simply because the way that it played out. You dropping them all over the place, got them rolling around the floor. I think because of that, I'm going to have to rock with that win. Reeve J, Crawford versus EJ for the culture. Crawford versus Canelo for the world. Mr. KO, I got to say the Canelo win was more valuable. But that's what I'm saying. On a historical level, that win is huge. But as far as watching it and enjoying it, the Canelo versus Errol pummeling session was crazy. Jay is in the house. I made money on that fight. JSmiff, payday. I made a little money on that fight too. Young Guns, I thought you might say EJ because, like Sai said, it was long overdue. And just the way that it played out, you know, the fight itself, watching Crawford dropping him over and over and stopping him, that shit was just crazy. You know, so in terms of enjoyable, I'm going to go with the Errol fight. Side, in terms of enjoyability, it's definitely the Errol fight. Underrated Will. Shakur need to push for the Devin fight ASAP, in my opinion. Both good fighters. But if Devin get more season, Shakur's in trouble. I don't think there's nothing Devin could ever do to beat Shakur, bro. Shakur's going to beat him whether they fight tomorrow or they fight in 10 years. It don't matter. It don't matter. Shakur's just better than him. If somebody's better than you, forget about seasoning. He better than you. Reeve J. Bob versus EJ was a beautiful domination after all that anticipation. And so many EJ fans talked crazy for years. And the funny thing, Reeve, is that all those Errol fans who said that Errol was going to knock him out, the big fish, too big, too strong, then they all pivoted into, nah, but Errol got the same in the car accident. I enjoyed watching that. I enjoy watching people try to now diminish Errol, the same fighter that they've been supporting, which, by the way, look, man, that's why UK fans, I give them their credit. That's the problem with a lot of American fans, yo. Errol Spence fans just threw him under the bus. He washed. He not the same. God damn, that's it? He not the big fish to you no more just because he lost to Terence Crawford? Like, they want to diminish Terence Crawford so bad that they just threw Errol Spence under the bus. Like, yeah, he ain't shit no more anyways. Damn. UK fans, they fighters be having 4 or 5 losses. Still filling up the arena. Still filling up the whole venue. Look at Chisora. How many losses Chisora got? How many losses AJ already got? And they fans still rock with them heavy. Errol Spence took 1 loss. They already threw his ass under the bus. That's nasty work. Quig, with all the weight divisions that we're talking about, who are you looking at as stars of boxing today? So today we have Shakur Stevenson. Ryan Garcia is a huge star. Tank Davis is inactive, but he's a huge star. Jerome Boots Ennis is on his way to becoming a huge star. Floyd Schofield, he's going to be, not Floyd Schofield, I'm not sure about him yet. But Abdullah Mason, who's already a world champion, he's going to be a huge star. Then you have the guys coming up too. You have Carmel Moulton coming up. You have other young fighters. But I got to say, man, Fundora too. Fundora's a big star. Moses Itauma is going to be a huge star when his time comes up. Alexander Usyk, obviously a big star. Jairo Pataya is on his way to becoming a big star. Boxing is in good hands. Boxing is in good hands. We have a lot of great fighters and a lot of up-and-coming future great fighters too. Mr. KO, and it was a nightmare. Crawford was assaulting Errol. Man, listen. Errol should have pressed charges for battery. For battery, bro. Crawford battered him. Wally Ahmad, thank you, Bill Haney, for putting that thought in Bud's head. Because Bud said he was never even thinking about fighting Canelo at first. See? And he wasn't. I remember when they asked him about it. And he was like, nah, that's too big. I'm not moving up way up to 168. But we see how it played out. Side, the counter uppercut against the Rose that dropped Errol was a thing of beauty. Oh, my God. That's one of the best uppercuts I ever seen, bro. If you remember, when he caught him with the shot, we didn't even see it. Errol just went down. Like, what the fuck just happened? And then they showed the replay. And that's when you saw, oh, shit, it was a counter uppercut. Short, compact. Boom. Errol never saw it coming. Reef J, I had Bud beating EJ. Bad. But they want to say it for real because I like EJ too. Bro, on this very channel, you could scroll down up until September of 2024 when they fought, or 2023, whatever the hell it was. And you'll see, oh yeah, 2023. If you scroll to September of 2023 on this channel, you're going to find videos where I'm saying Terence Crawford is going to knock Errol Spence out in the 8th or the 9th. In some videos, I will say he's going to knock him in the 8th. In some videos, I will say he's going to knock him out in the 9th. And those videos were flooded with comments of people, you dumb, you don't know boxing. You're going to find out. Yo, when I went after the fight to those comments, most of them PBC fans deleted the comments, so I couldn't respond to them. Deleted their comments, bro. A lot of people who made their prediction on the comments deleted that shit. Underrated. Well, I believe Shakur is better, but get him out now. Here's the problem. How can Shakur fight Devin Haney if Devin don't want to fight him? It's as simple as that. Devin Haney does not want to fight Shakur Stevenson. You didn't see what he said? Oh, I want to fight Shakur and Keyshawn, but Keyshawn first. Why Keyshawn first? Why you putting a barrier between you and Shakur? Why you don't say I want to fight Shakur next? Oh, I want to fight little bro first. Dev don't want to fight Shakur, bro. I just don't see it. Reef J, they said EJ was going to walk Bud down, break him down. He was going to pummel him. He was going to stop him. Then they had to watch Crawford beat the crap out of Errol. Cash, facts, Jay. And the Haney's know they can't beat Shakur. They know. They don't want to make that fight. They staying away from that fight. Reef J. EJ's still among my favorite fighters of all time. But just higher on the list. So, look, Errol Spence is a great fighter. He's a great fighter. He's a 3-belt unified champion, and he got it the hard way. No email titles. No fighting nobody for a vacant title. He won those 3 belts by beating 3 world champions. Beat Kell Brook for a title. Beat Sean Porter for a title. And beat... Who was the other one? Who else he beat for that title? Was it Ugas? Oh, yeah, beat Ugas for the title. It was supposed to be Manny Pacquiao. Manny lost to Ugas. And he ended up beating Ugas. He beat 3 world champions for those 3 belts. So he's a legitimate great fighter. Mr. KO, Crawford knocked out everybody he faced at 147, including Errol Spence. He got it the worst. Errol got it the worst. Mikey Montreal, Zay Quinn. Oh, Zay Quinn Moses, a special fighter. Special fighter. Young Guns, Ben Whitaker, another one. Special fighter. Queen. Love to see UK fans show up for their fighters. But that's what I'm saying. You know, fans around the world should look at how UK fans back their fighters. UK fans, they got to have 2 losses, 3 losses, 4 losses, 5 losses, got knocked out, got stopped. They still support them. In the U.S., you get knocked out, you a bum, you a hype job, you not the same no more. That's it. People give up on you. Right away. We need to be like UK fans. Support your fighters no matter what. Teach. Good stars. We just need good fights. Boxing is in a weird space where boxers got to go to court to make fights. It's crazy. We're seeing people going to court right now. JJ's in the house. JSmiff. I have to go to work. Salute, family. Bam. Underrated Will. Salute, JJ. Fellas, I'm going to remind you, this fight is at the end of this month. Keith Thurman versus Sebastian Fundora is at the end of this month. We're going to get a good one, fellas. Reef J, Zay Quinn, Carmel, Scooter, Abdullah, Emiliano, all got it for this generation. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They're all going to be big names in the sport of boxing, and they're all going to accomplish. Mr. KO, Carmel versus Derek Scooter Davis. Fight could happen. I don't think it's going to happen soon. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Underrated Will, tall versus small. This is going to be a good fight. The people who think that Fundora is just going to wash him and is going to make him look easy and all of that stuff. Nah, man, Keith Thurman is not to be disrespected, my peoples. I'm telling you. This fight is going down later this month. Of course, I'm going to be calling it live for you guys. And I got a feeling this is one of those. A shot to the mouthpiece. A shot to the toupee of Keith Thurman. A shot to the wig piece of Sebastian Fundora. Oh, devastating blow. It's going to be that type of showdown. We're going to get some real good fireworks. I promise you. Mr. KO, remember when Brad Mendoza KO'd Fundora? And the funny thing is, Fundora was winning that fight. He got caught with a good shot. But that version of Sebastian Fundora, you ain't going to see it again. That's it. Why? And I'm going to remind you, back then, it's when we used to say, yo, why is Sebastian Fundora so big, man, and he fighting everybody inside of that phone booth? He fighting everybody like he's short, like he's little. And once he lost, he got stopped by Mendoza. They developed that jab. And now you see Sebastian Fundora beating the shit out of niggas from across the ring. Pah, 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 get over there. Now, when you want to close the gap on Fundora, you're going to eat 2-3 punches on your way in. You're going to have to pay for that. It's not going to be cheap. Getting on the inside on Sebastian Fundora is not going to be cheap. You're going to have to pay the price. So, the version of Sebastian Fundora that Mendoza stopped, that Fundora doesn't even exist anymore, bro. Jack, Fundora for the win. Thurman took off too long. But I'm going to remind you, family, Keith Thurman had been out of boxing for 2 years when he fought the kid from Australia. And he looked spectacular. He looked sharp, fast, strong. Finished the fight in devastating fashion. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen. Did you watch it? So, the Australian kid, Brock, he's not a championship caliber fighter. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about how Keith Thurman looked. He looked good, man. He looked great. He looked sharp. Reeve J. Fundora should be preparing for the NBA playoffs, but he boxing with his tall ass. I mean, don't be surprised, man. Fundora could probably slam dunk, just walk into a court and slam dunk on anybody. My peoples, I'm about to end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I want to give you guys a shout out for tuning in this morning. I hope you enjoy this show. Salute to everybody who tuned in. Shaku Hands, Mr. KO, Reef J, Jack, Wally Ahmad, Queeb was in the building. Sai, JJ Zendejas, Underrated Will, Teach, Cash, Mike Malcriado, Reef J, and everybody else who tuned in this morning. Fellas, I appreciate you. Trell Bruce was in the building. Salute, family. I appreciate you, my peoples. I know what it is, man. Boxing for breakfast is all about the sweet science. This is for you. This is for you guys. I hope you enjoy this show. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Boxing for Breakfast. Y'all already know who this is, man. I'm JSmiff. I'm getting the hell out of here. I got to go make this money. Salute, my peoples. Bam! Let's get the hell